All right. Making the announcements, and then we should be good to go. I've been very excited for this one, actually. Those who 2:30 a.m. Ouch, bro. Yeah, 12 hours away. Damn, waffle bits. Alrighty, so I pinged them. I put a new post, and I'll share this to the space. There. Boom. There we go. Alright, so we're just waiting. There we go. Never mind. All right, getting stuff set up on my end, and we should be good. I'll invite Duster to be the co-host. There we go. Ooh, I got. How's everyone in chat doing? Was this Twitch too? It used to be. We're on Twitter and YouTube, so yeah, there's that. Hello.
Hello?
Hey, Duster. How's it going?
Is my mic quality fine? I'm just making sure I'm using the correct one.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I get that because it can be kind of finicky sometimes.
Yeah, I have never done this on desktop Twitter,
Yeah.
so
You get kind of used to it. One tip is don't refresh your page at all. You should be fine.
gotcha. All right, sounds
All
good.
right.
All right.
All right, so since we're at the start of the stream and the podcast, would you like to introduce yourself to those who don't particularly know you?
Yes, let me put on my best intro voice. Hello, I am SirDusterBuster or just DusterBuster. If you are familiar with what I do in this community, you know I'm the director of Doki Takeover Plus and Flavor Rave. Those are sort of like the big two mods, like
Yeah.
under my directorial ability, and also the leader of the mod team, Team TBD.
Mm-hmm.
And also just a general artist here on Twitter as well and other places.
Huge fan of Flavor Rave. I'm pretty sure everyone is at this point.
I'm glad.
I also played Takeover Plus, I think, ages ago.
It honestly, Takeover feels like a distant memory. It's been so long at this point.
I know, right? All right. So, do you have any questions before we begin?
For me?
Yeah.
Not that I could think of at the moment.
All right.
Still trying to like warm my brain up a bit because I slept in a little, like.
I
today,
wish I
so
could
I'm,
sleep
like,
in.
still
Honestly.
waking up a bit.
I wish I could
But-
sleep in. Honestly, I'm working on it. Like it's like I played Takeover 7 years ago. Damn Ulysses on YouTube.
Did it exist 7 years ago? What? That doesn't make sense.
He's a joke.
I always been like, no, it can't be that. It could be that
Nah,
late.
it can't be that long. It's probably like maybe 3 years, probably. I think.
Since DDTO Plus, yeah, I think about like 2 or 3 years.
Oh, did I
Actually,
play-
it was just exactly 2 years ago, a few months ago, from what I remember.
Yeah, I did play Doki Doki. March 15th, 2023. Back with my old thumbnail style. Jesus, I was still wearing those stupid goggles.
But even then, that's so long as hell ago. Jeez.
Yeah, man. Everyone's praising your stuff, man. Like, you leave an impact, dude.
I don't know. If it's always like really jarring, but also like really nice to see how much people like have resonated with what we put out. So every time I see it, it always like jump scares me.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. I have a series of 16 questions, and at the top of the space, I left a link to a post where everyone can suggest questions after we're done with that. I will warn them, though, at the start of this, it might be probably like 45 minutes at least till we get to the Q&A stuff, open Q&A.
Yeah.
The open stuff, yeah. Because sometimes it's
I
been
do go on
hours.
kind of a bit of a tangent sometimes with my.
I'll try to keep us going on track.
Sounds
Alrighty. So if we don't answer your question right away, just please be patient and feel free to message it again on the YouTube side or bring it to our attention on the Twitter side of things. But with that said, let's go get started. Question 1. What was your introduction to the FNF community?
So, I guess for this, specifically just FNF in general, which will later be turned into the communities, just when like the original week 2 drop of FNF came out, and it was shared amongst my personal friend group as like a cool little thing to look at. And then from there, it was starting to see like what people could like do very early on with this game, with like very like early modding, or where you have to go into like the sprites itself and like replace like the actual image before people had like were able to export things. And that was already immediately intriguing to me because like people know my background before FNF. I've been like a game modder for a bunch of other games prior, so like if you've seen my Game Banana page before all the FNF mods come in, you see like a lot of like Smash Ultimate mods and things like that.
Funny enough,
like
we were
that.
playing Smash Ultimate earlier today.
Yeah, like that used to be modding that game and other games used to be my thing before FNF came in. So and also just modding games in general is always very intriguing to me. So when we saw that, I was like, oh hey, here's another game that we can do like mod stuff for. This is cool. And then it was more like I more so just kind of like observed it from a distance, occasionally drew a little thing of it here and there until week 6 had come out. And the theme of week 6 was like dating sim that goes wrong. And at the time, this was when I was like very hardcore in like drawing like DDLC art. So I'm like, all right, I need to know what I need to do immediately upon seeing this. So I drew like a really quick fan art of Monica in the style of week 6. And then that post like super took off, and even got the attention of both like Ninja Muffin and Molwing, the pixel artist for week 6. And everyone's
that's amazing.
It was like very supportive of that art. And then since this also around the time when things like Witty were first coming out and people wanted to see like mods like start existing, that's when the push, people were like, hey, could we see that for what you did? And then from there I was like, you know what, I'll see what I could do. Found people who wanted to help on something very early for it, and then my entire like rest of my life was rewritten from that point on.
Yeah, man. That's a crazy story, but.
And then since then, I've just been knee deep in doing like stuff for FNF and just like being a part of like this very large community.
Yeah, it's nuts, honestly. I don't know what to say honestly to that. But yeah, in terms of modding communities, the only other one I've personally been in was the Minecraft one like 10 years ago. Yeah, that was dark days back then, though. Yeah. But that's besides the point. All right, let's go ahead and move on to number 2 then. How has your experience with the community been?
It's definitely been like a lot of high highs and low lows with being community, but as being in it long enough, I've sort of like kind of figured out more how to navigate my way around things for like my own like comfort being in this community. So I know most of the days now like if I'm working on something for FNF, like I mostly just engage with like my team and then like a few other like specific individuals within the community to like that I like can know and trust and like can be like chill around. And then when it comes to like presenting what we do out like to the community at large, I just kind of like post, like answer some questions, and then that's sort of where, and then engage with some like community things and responses to what we do, and that's sort of my engagement with the community. And nowadays, but before, when something like DDTO was the big thing, and then that had so many eyes on it, more than I could ever like think of. That was something I was like definitely like saying a lot more, because I felt like I was like had to be part of this like bigger thing happening. And it was kind of overwhelming when it was DDTO was the big thing, because like it's impressive. It's like super impressive when I see like the DDTO downloads, and they're like nearing like it's like 750,000. It's like the most absurd number I've ever seen. But I'm like, oh god, that's like 750,000 eyes on what I've done for this project. And it's especially to think on hindsight now, when it's like that's not like my best work as an artist or a writer. So I'm like, oh geez.
Oh god.
And then since there's so many things happening with the community before, there's like so many people, so many things coming out, it was like, it felt a little like overwhelming.
Like stepping on eggshells.
Part of it all. But
at time.
Yeah, because like I wouldn't know like what my place is here. Like, am I considered like someone who's well known because I did this project?
I ask
like...
myself that question all the time, honestly.
So like, should I like, am I able to engage with all these cool things? I don't know. But regardless, like, so I just kind of keep to myself because
I get that.
I like
That's
hang out with my normal friends.
That's introvert coded right there, and I'm right there.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah, man. I actually had reached out to you before. Or tried to reach out like a couple months ago, but I don't think you even saw the message until I messaged HPK.
Yeah, my
That's
bad.
fine. It's all good. It's all good.
I get a lot of like stupid spam DMs on Twitter, so sometimes the DMs
it's all good.
get,
it's all good.
Get like that, but like,
yeah, I thought like, wait a minute.
The goat. He comes in clutch.
Yeah, that's why I thought like, yeah, maybe I should message HPK since you guys know each other. And yeah, that's what got the interview stuff started when your number was picked.
Yeah.
I actually reached out to you before the form was made, actually. I believe.
Damn, that's so long ago. Oh god,
yeah,
I feel bad.
Yeah, it's all good. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's been fun trying to get these things sort of more organized as they are now compared to about 6 months ago.
Yeah, like the
Crazy
forum
to
when I
think I've
filled
been
it
almost
out,
doing
it was very like robust. So big props for having a nice like setup for this.
Well, technically, I've been doing it for almost a year now. Actually, the account's only like roughly 4 months old. But on the YouTube side of things, I've been doing it for at least till the day after Step Right Up came out, actually. So I have had a lot of practice.
Oh god, that tripped up my brain because like Step Right Up feels recent, but also I know it's been.
Yeah, it's almost a year fucking old. Aye.
Jesus, oh my god.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the fun part. Damn, yeah, I know, right? Freaking nuts. But this is like episode 26 of the podcast, and technically, if I were counting the non-podcast episodes, because I used to do them with a mod the creator was, doing, we'd probably be in the 50s at this point, actually.
Dang.
I'm not sure, but it wasn't consistent. But yeah, go ahead and move on to number 3, shall we? Have you had to deal with any drama in the community?
Oh boy, this one is like, I don't feel particularly uncomfortable talking about this kind of stuff.
That's completely fine. Like, you can always skip.
I'm kind of like, at this point, I don't want to say I'm used to it, but more just like, I don't like, it doesn't bother me at this point because we've had like over my like 4-ish years being part of this community, I've kind of like, we've had our bad actors who have unfortunately been part of our team that I've had to like deal with firsthand. And it happens more often than I wish it did, and because I wish it didn't happen at all, because it just puts like the work we do and work that other people do at like stake, and also not only that, but like it puts like the personal like experience of people at stake, which is I want to make sure, especially the people within my own team, that everyone who's here is comfortable, is like this is not riddled with worry that there's ever going to be issue. And like, if God forbid there ever will be, and then also if something would ever happen, like making sure everything is like can be handled as efficiently as we can. But like, fortunately, like because this, as me starting FNF and this being the start of me doing like, it's been a process to like kind of learn how to like approach these kind of things when they come up, because they come up often in this community. That's why it's a question here.
Yeah, you can always skip the question if you don't want to talk about it. That's completely okay.
Well, no, it's like I said, it's fine. Because like, there's a lot of like, definitely a lot of factors that kind of play into why this community ends up having like so many like weird, crazy drama issues. But I know at least for
that's in any community, to be fair. Like there is no squeaky clean community out there. If you find one, you're a goddamn liar. There is not one. So yeah, don't feel bad about that. That's just that just comes with the territory.
I definitely think in the case of that, there's like a compounding of a lot of different like communities together, so that ends up influencing what happens, and it in a fortunately pretty negative way, but at least which has affected like what I helped work on and like things we have done before. But it's just kind of been like a process of trying to like make sure we don't run into these things, so that way like being in this community doesn't feel like uncomfortable, and to do that is just to make a small space within it that is like comfortable for people to be in, and that's what I want TBD to be, and
To be inclusive, basically.
yeah, and from what my like team tells me, they like enjoy the space we have in TBD. So I'm glad.
HBK said the same thing. They do enjoy that during their interview. Yeah, keep it up, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. We good on this question? You want to move on to number 4?
Yeah.
All right. So number 4, do you have any advice to give to the community?
I feel like definitely there was a point, I feel like years ago, where it felt like standards were very high for what people wanted to do, like, and felt like, oh, if you wanted to get attention on something, you had to do all this crazy stuff. You needed a mod that had like 20 songs in it, and at least half of them had to be done by big name people. You had to have all these artists and all these things. It's like
it's either that or get a lucky break.
Yeah, and it's like, but like nowadays, since I personally feel like things have mellowed out a little bit in the community, because now there's like not as many like eyes everywhere attention on what we do. A lot of what we do is sort of self-contained to the people who are already here. So I feel like now it's best for when you make things to, obviously this is kind of applies regardless of what the time frame is, but especially now, I feel like it's the best time ever to just like make something that is you find enjoyable to make, and not trying to make
something that is
like,
your
captures.
own, you know.
Yeah, just try not to capture this massive audience now, because like with the community has grown a lot, and the community has formed its own little subsections for what people want out of what we do.
Yeah,
so
their own little cliques, in a sense.
Find the people you want to appeal to, or like, or more specifically, make something you enjoy, and then that will appeal to the people you want to appeal to in the end. Yeah, because there will always be an overlap.
There's always going to be a little bit. And that's coming from like a streamer of every, like a lot of games myself. Like FNF, it does well, but I do play like a lot of Smash myself, and some people from the FNF crowd also join Smash as well. It just kind of spills over content creation space.
Yeah, I think FNF is definitely big of like, if you're here, there's a chance you have other strong interests, because there's very likely chance you turn that strong interest into an FNF mod. So there's a chance you might have gone back to go do something more for that, or like have found some new ground somewhere that to like spread your creative like abilities.
Creative wings. Yeah. That's why I kind of started this whole podcast, since I had not seen anyone go this in depth when it comes to the interview stuff. And technically, I could go even harder on the interview questions, but I'm trying to keep things positive, not too hard to answer stuff.
Yeah, a nice chill interview is always like good.
Yeah, that's the main point of it. If I wanted to go harder on questions, all the interviewee has to do is ask. Like I can get a lot harder questions out there.
I would be down to answer a hard question if you got one for me.
I'll save it for later then.
All right, sounds good.
Let's go for number 5. As a director, what's your favorite mod you've directed so far?
It's Flavor Rave 100%. Because while like I can look back on DDTO and be happy about what we did and like how much people enjoyed it. Flavor Rave is just like, it is a mod that is me saying, what would I do? What is the kind of mod I want to exist? And then just making it exactly the way I want it to, without feeling like I need to have some restrictions. Because like with an IP mod, especially one that's like with like DDLC, that's so like rooted in like, it's a division level, so it's so rooted in like character writing. So like you have to be so careful of what you're doing with these characters, because people will be so quick to be like, oh, this character wouldn't do that, or this or that, or like this is wrong.
That just reminded me of all the Sonic debates. Like, he would not say that. You go, shut the fuck up.
It's their creative endeavor. That's the exact thing I'm talking about. Like, oh god, like I feel like sometimes I feel like I walk on eggshells trying to like.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. When something's beloved, if you step one toe out of line, people will let you know.
And like, and people have let me know. Like, I'm pretty sure DDLC Reddit fucking hates me. But it's whatever. Like I kind of already moved on for it, and now Play Brave is this thing that I do now, and it's like these characters can be written
That's your
however
own
I
thing,
want.
yeah.
Because people can't tell me how to write my own characters. The music can be whatever I want it to be, and what I always wanted was more genres in FNF mods. So let's do a mod of that, and then all these fun designs, and then because I am very big on like just writing and stories and stuff, like, and which is very clear for people who play DDTO. It's a very dialogue heavy mod, and Play Brave is also a follow suit with that. So it's another outlet for all these interests I have to put into one space. And I'm glad that and the fact that people have resonated with it so much, and this thing that's very much like completely like how I want it to be, with the creative freedom of everyone on the team putting everything together to make something like that we think is cool. And so that fact that other people think it's cool too is why like will always be my favorite project so far.
Yeah. I will say, the biggest thing I've chatted about this in other interviews and during my own streams of Flavor Rave is that it doesn't feel like FNF at all, honestly. It's like its own thing, and I feel like not a lot of mods capture that feeling.
Yeah, that was a sense that was like very important to me when we were working on it, because I wanted it to feel like
its own entire thing.
Obviously, from the ground, from its purest form, it is very much like FNF because it's the same gameplay and the same way songs are like composed with chromatics and everything. But anytime we can find some way to really like
differentiate,
do something that base game doesn't do, or like change something, or like do something different with our music,
and that is what sticks out in OC mods. That's what a lot of OC mods need to remember to try to do, in my opinion. Make it stick out agree. In that way.
But also, it's like, but even with OC mods, like if you're not trying to be like the next big OC mod, just kind of do whatever you want. I think
pretty much,
like just do what you enjoy. It's just that my thing I enjoy is like these unique genres and all these crazy fun like character designs. So just do whatever you want. Make fun things with your friends. That is what to do now in this community post like the biggest mods coming out, and now we're in this like after part where it's like, what do we do now? We have fun. That's what we do.
Yeah, will you be able to send YouTube chat questions via chat? Yeah, of course. Don't worry. I'm looking at both on my phone as well for the updated chats. Oh, hi, Finn. That was Finn. All right. Yeah, fair enough. Let's move on to number 6. This one's one of the juicier questions, in my opinion. How did Flavor Rave and DDTO get started in the first place?
So I kind of answered the DDTO question like around the first one, where it's the start of as me making this fan art of Monica and the not Flavor Rave. Oh my god, week 6 style, and then from there it spiraled into like Monica full week happening, and then Doki Takeover, and then Takeover Plus. And because from there, it just kept being like we had more ideas for what we wanted to do, until we hit the ultimate culmination with Plus, where we basically did everything we could want to do. And if we did more, then we would have been doing too much. And at that point, it's like we could do something new now. And then with Flavor Rave, that started off as a mod for a mod jam. So it's like one of those events where you have a limited time frame to make something for like a basically a cash reward. And so Turtle Pal Tapes held a mod jam like a long while ago, and the theme of it was contrast. And one of the members of our team, Lisa, she had given us like this, she saw the theme of the mod jam and was like, okay, this theme is contrast. She like had given us these designs of these two characters that one was like based on EDM and one was based on classical music as contrast, and then and then obviously one was named Sweet and one was named Sour. And then that singular sketch, which is I think one of the first images in the gallery, is like the catalyst for everything. Like once that, we didn't know what we wanted to do for that mod jam until that image was posted, and then everything started to click.
Everything started to fall together.
And then from there, it was spending that week just like putting everything we got into making that mod like the best we could within that week, which which for directorial advice, don't try to make Flavor Rave V1 in a week. It was we were. It took a lot out of us to do that.
Yeah,
So
chat's
pace
saying
yourself.
the burnout must have been hell for Mod Jam.
It was kind of a lot. We took like a nice rest after that, just like make sure
Yeah.
we didn't.
Not gonna lie, I'm dealing with a little bit of burnout myself doing this sort of interview like week after week after week. But we're gonna get to 30, and then I'll take a week off myself.
Yeah, it's like
We'll get there.
it's like you don't, that's why like V2 took like 2 years to do, because like I didn't want to just like rush another update out and like another week. That would have been like hell on everyone. But that from there, we did that for the Mod Jam, and then we ended up winning the Mod Jam first place, which was
Nice.
was all of us like super excited, and we're like, oh man! And everyone was like super. People who played it were like resonating with this, like all these little things we put together in this mod that we've made in a week. And from there, it was like, because Flavor Rave has such an easy foundation to do more with, because it's like, okay, we have these two musicians based on flavors and genres. How much
we spin
further can we go with this? And then even just like within that month afterward, because even though we were taking a break from specifically working on mod stuff, like we were still drawing a bunch of like Flavor Rave
Concepts
ideas
and
for
all
like
that.
what we could do. And then it's like, oh, here's this character like who's metal themed, her name's Spicy, and here's like this character Smokey, and like all these new like design ideas were being made that early on, and we're like, okay, we need to do more of this, because they're doing as much as it was hell to do V1 in a week for the Mod Jam. It was still like the ideas and like the things we were setting up for this was so like fun and like and led to so much potential. It's like, oh, we gotta keep going with this. And then 2 like years of mod work went by, and then we finally got to release V2, and then that's when like we got to really see like how far we can push this idea of like making this mod that feels like its own thing, and this with its own like genres and everything. And everyone's had been like, a lot more people I've expected have really resonated with it. So from there, it's just like the more people, so now to the point where now it's like when people see me, they're like no longer, hey, it's the DDTO guy. They're like, hey, it's the Flavor Rave guy. And I'm like, to be known for that now as my main thing, as something that is very much like our own thing, it's something that's very personally, it's like, oh,
I know that feeling exactly.
I can just like do this now, and then like people like want this.
I know that feeling exactly
absolutely.
Recently. I learned that feeling myself recently with this whole account. Like, hey, it's the interview guy. Like, yeah, that cheers me up, but I do a lot more than interviews. I don't know. I feel, I don't know. You ever feel that you want to be known for more than just what you're known for at times?
Yeah, that was me with DDTO, honestly. Like when I was just the DDTO guy.
Not that there's nothing wrong with people liking this stuff. It's like, I have fun doing a lot of other stuff too.
I guess because with DDTO, like I said before, it's not my best work as an artist, not my best work as a director, and not my best work as a writer. So it's like it was a stepping stone, but it's also the people the thing that people have known me for the most for the longest time was that thing that is not my best work. It was like, oh man.
I know
so the fact that people know me for the thing which I do consider my best work now is like, oh, awesome.
I take pride in that.
Yeah.
Stop. Sorry. Got all 5 dogs and they're causing mayhem.
You're all good.
2 border collies, 2 Shih Tzus, and a golden retriever. They do not mix. Hey, go to sleep. Thank you. Hi. But yeah, I got 5 down here. All right, number 7. This one might be a bit harder unless you use a mod that you are part of. What's your favorite FNF song?
So that's actually pretty easy for me because there's a lot of FNF songs that come out for the longest time. And for this, I will not say something from a mod that I have like personally directed because that's bias. But like there's been so many really good songs that have popped up every now and then within the whole modding scape, and there's like a lot that holds like specifically close to my heart. But there has been one since very early on that has like stuck with me mostly because like it appealed to a younger me's like
A younger
special interests,
DusterBuster.
and I think, and then when it got remade, it got even better, and that song is Monochrome. To this day, that is still my favorite FNF song.
It has such a dude. It gives you freaking earworm.
It's the composition of it is like
it's really
just,
good, but dude, that would not leave my fucking head for like a literal month.
It's like
it's a good
like,
song. Don't get me wrong.
That song is great, and then when they had the V2 version, like the extension for it, just like was like holy crap, and like everything really about it, from just the song itself to like the visuals of it. Because when I was a kid, I was a creepypasta kid, so
same.
Lost Silver was my favorite one growing up. So like I would always like
EXE myself.
I was never an EXE kid because like I never got into like the Sonic.exe stuff, but the Pokemon creepypastas were always something I loved.
Yeah, those are creepy as hell. I'm not gonna lie. Before Head Does Lullaby, I didn't really know a whole lot of the Pokemon ones. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. But Monochrome. Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. When that mod came out, I was like, it was cool because I had grown up with a lot of them, and like, so like in my old like middle school notebooks, I would like doodle like the limbless gold because I've been watching all the videos in the creepypasta. So seeing that design come back for that song in this really cool style, and the song is really cool, was like it stuck with my brain the whole time. So now it's like. And then when V2 of it came out, it further cemented itself as like this thing that I have a deep love for, and that had inspired a lot of like things I wanted to do for like mods like I have worked on personally. So Monochrome will live eternally free in my heart. It's my favorite.
All right. Well, for me, when it comes to Monochrome, I enjoyed the hell out of it for a while, but then it wouldn't leave my dang head for so long. The earworm turned into a negative thing for me, but it's still really damn good. I really do agree with that. It's a really good song. Probably one of my top 10. But for me personally, well, a little bit of bias here for EXE stuff growing up. Triple Trouble, actually.
I used to be like a negative Nancy towards Triple Trouble, but I've loosened up on my feelings on it like over time. Like especially it's just like as like a community milestone song.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's just that's where FNF music kind of just clicked for me. Like, I get
it.
Yeah. that plus, that's when I started like, getting ready to, play the mods myself. But eventually getting around, it took me like 2 years to get around to actually playing V2 or the restored version. And it broke like nonstop. Still really love the song. That and Way Too Many Troubles does not get talked about, like the 27-minute version. I still have seen that shit. That was fun.
I didn't know there was one called Way Too Many Troubles. That's a funny name.
Yeah, I think it's either 23-minute long or 27-minute long one, but it's actually really damn good.
Because I know there's like Four-Way Fracture or something. There's that's like a slight long version, and then there's like the super long like Fatal Finale. But like I didn't know there was this one that's like a lot of troubles.
Yeah, it's actually really good. It's really damn good. They introduce other characters in the middle of Triple Trouble, like Majin just showing up somewhere. I don't remember the song that well anymore, since it's been about half a year since I listened to it. But I remember playing it and just FCing it first try. All right, Kian says, I feel when Triple Trouble released, it was good, but it did get milked in terms of content. To be fair, EXE content tends to happen that way. That's just how the culture is for EXE stuff.
Yeah, and like,
I mean, no offense. Like, for example, Mr. Pixel's, one last round sort of thing. Yeah, that got kind of milked. It's still really good though.
That kind of thing is like not even the fault of like the musicians, just like how the community takes a piece of work.
Yeah, the EXE community is always kind of drowning in terms of drowning, sinking. Same brain. But in terms of waiting for content, in a sense. At least from my perspective, but that's the story for another day, I guess. Anyway,
I know there's a question about EXE later that I have.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. I don't know. I've always been a fan of the EXE stuff, even if it does get, like I said earlier, every community has drama, There's no point in singling it out at that point. Anyway, onwards to question number 8. As an artist, what's your favorite artwork you've made?
That's a kind of like a hard one because like
That's a really hard
a
one.
lot of my like work I put the most time into is in something like Rave right now. So like I have a lot of my like normal art has sort of taken a little bit of backseat in terms of like crazy effort, because a lot of my most recent stuff I post now is like smaller scale stuff because I get burnt out working on the really big stuff for stuff like the mods. But a lot of my, I'm very proud of like a lot of my animation and like sprite work I've been able to do on recent Flavor Rave updates, mostly because like it's the freedom of just being able to do this how I want and like finding ways to like make these sprites like look cool and different and in any way I can. So like, okay, like this character, like it'd be cool if they had a different shading styles, and then so we animate them like this or just something like that. So a lot of like my favorite work comes from like the creative choices I can take when we do stuff for the mod. And so once like that is all done, I can start like focusing on like my normal art and like finding something I can be super proud of with that. Because right now, like I haven't done anything too crazy big like in terms of like normal art. I think the last thing I did was I helped my friend Juno do the thumbnail for their All Stars with Lyrics cover. So, and I was very happy with how that thumbnail art turned out. So I think that's my favorite like recent thing I've done. But I feel like I have like I need to find some time to really like make something I'm super proud of again that isn't just like Flavor Rave.
Yeah. Sorry, Max, stop. Dogs. But yeah, yeah, I've seen a lot of your art since the Flavor Rave, V2 release. Technically, I didn't really hear about Flavor Rave until the V2 because I got like DM after DM, like, dude, you gotta try streaming this. Didn't regret it. Did not regret it in the slightest. Still really damn good. And then the freaking the shanty song, Lodestar. Oh my god, that was good.
Big shout outs to working with Juno to make that song happen, because that character was was created like pretty early on, like even before like V2 came out, and I always wanted to do something with that character because that design was fun, and then I knew like
it's a really good design.
We have a character that's like a pirate. Pirates are known for shanties, and it's a character created by Juno who's known for doing like singing and doing stuff with lyrics. Like we have to do a lyric song for this character.
We can't not do this.
Because like no one's done like a full pirate shanty in FNF. Like let's do that.
They really didn't. That's what sets it apart.
And then when Lodestar had like dropped and it's full, like it was like so many people like outside of our usual like audience were like seeing it and be like, whoa, this is so cool. Like I can't believe FNF mods are doing this. I was like, oh, God, we need to do more of this. This is cool. And everyone really likes it.
Yes, Lodestar, I actually sped it up by 35% to get a quote-unquote Nightcore variant. I'm surprised the mod didn't break for that.
We try our best to make sure our mod is as functional as it can be.
I showed HPK he was watching that stream. He's like, no, Lodestar Shanty Nightcore edition. It still sounded really dang good sped up too. It's actually really fun too. Like, yeah, man, that was very well made. But yeah. In terms of sea shanties, I think the only thing I can think of that even comes, it doesn't really do a shanty per se, but does involve a pirate ship, would be the K Rule Returns mod that came out 2 years ago.
Oh, that was so long ago.
I did stream that, but my connection was having a massive skill issue that day, so. I'll probably get back around to it, who knows. But yeah, I definitely recommend both mods though. But yeah, during Revolves being this dramatic. Anyway, let's move on to question number 9. What about the one versus nonsense song? Okay. Fair. I have the pirate versus nonsense song. That's fair. That's fair.
I've never really seen versus nonsense, so I couldn't gauge how that song goes.
We can't get around to everything, you know. All right, so question number 9. If/when you leave the community, what will you do?
So I think back when we had a bit of like internal troubles that led us to like initially canceling the mod of Flavor Rave, we were already immediately in talks like, okay, what can we do like now? Like since before we came like a decision to like give this mod 1 final update, which will hopefully drop sometime this month. Like we were already talking about, okay, what do we want to do now for the future? Because we don't want this team to split up. Like we established how much we enjoy working with each other, and we also established how much we love Flavor Rave. So immediately we're like, what can we do with Flavor Rave
After
like outside
FNF.
of FNF? Because we always, ever since like V1, we're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do more FNF mod stuff, but we could. A lot of people were like, oh man, I want to see like an indie game of this or something like that, or like some independent thing that isn't tied to FNF with this series.
Hell yeah, man.
So we've always wanted to do that, and that is something that like we have already like had like I've already had like a big like dev meeting about discussing potential things to do, and we have plans in set. So like there are things we already have in motion for doing some like non-FNF stuff that I'm very excited for. It's just gonna take us a little bit to get to that point because we're still wrapping up doing mod stuff, and now we're also figuring out how to approach these new like
Ventures.
spaces for things. And because I know like as a director, this is going to be new territory for me because it's not just like an FNF mod anymore. There's so many more things to consider, and like especially things from like legal standpoint, like this is stuff I never thought I'd have to touch before, but now I have to keep it in mind. So that
you
way
gotta be very careful when you go outside of another community with characters.
Yeah, so we have to like we have to like make sure everything is like good and like everything's taken care of. So like it's going to be a very slow process for us to really get our footing outside of FNF, but like it's something we all want to do, and we all have already started our early work on. So that is what
you definitely have to support the community. I can say that much. Like, you literally just posted like Flavor Rave, and you got like 50 comments saying Flavor Rave.
I'm glad I can just do that. Yeah, I'm glad I can just like make a tweet that this is Flavor Rave, and then everyone's like, yeah.
I'm just glad I can actually ask questions to the community as a whole instead of just the interview stuff. Like I did recently, like favorite FNF song or mod in general. Got a decent amount of responses to it. Yeah. Though that one could also be like, why do you like this song? I don't know. How's the interview at the moment? I think it's going all right. I think it's going good. But yeah, I actually asked myself this question too, if I ever do leave the community. I haven't really come to an answer yet, honestly. I don't know. There's something that's been this welcoming. Yeah. It's something that's been this welcoming. Yeah. Yeah, I've been very welcomed into the community since I started, so I don't really have a plan to leave at the moment. As long as things stay fun and no bullshit happens in the end, I'm still keep on trucking.
Yeah, so like there's no rush to get out if there's still
pretty much
worth being here for, and there's definitely still is, even despite like some like ups and downs with the community.
Oh, in any community there is, but yeah, that's also why I do more than just FNF stuff as well. So yeah. I my ADHD just prevents me from playing the same game hours and hours on end sometimes. Yeah, we don't talk about Doom the Dark Ages. That's an exception, not the rule. I streamed like 7 hours of that this week.
My friend all over that.
We need a Doom FNF mod, man. We really do. I actually chatted about it with Junebug, I believe. But anyway, Wafflebit said, modding Tangy in Mario 64.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we get to have fun. Like, since we're all are like modders for other things, we get to do like random other things. Like one of our like team leads at TVD, Jorge Sunspirit. He's a 3D modeler, so he can do like me and him collab to make like a model of Tangy. We put her in Mario 64, and we could just do things like that when we're bored. Some things outside of FNF.
But yeah, in terms of like unique mods I was thinking of, I came up with a few ideas myself. Was that Doom idea? Because based on the
I would kill
stuff.
for like some really like more heavy metal music.
I actually was talking to Junebug about it like a few days ago, like yesterday. My bad. And they actually just said we're cooking up a Doom-based mod in the replies.
Good. I need to see that.
I'll post it. I'll share it to the space. There's the link. I actually posted like, one of the benefits of having a little bit of a boost when it comes to Twitter, so I can post longer posts instead of splitting it into 6 freaking messages. I swear to God, the character limit needs more. But yeah, I had ideas for like a 3-shot mod myself, which there's that. But yeah, I don't really have a team, nor the time, nor energy to actually do that sort of thing. So I can always concept.
I hope it will exist one day in some form.
Yeah, somebody suggested. They said even with the best people in the community, we couldn't do it justice. But JPR said Mars Starboat read my f***ing mind.
There's certain people who can.
Yeah.
I can think of a few people I can trust being like, you can make this happen.
Yes, and I know the Doom community is very particular about music. So. Yeah, but they're usually pretty dang wholesome, actually. Be surprised. And even they have their own problems. But anyway, let's get back to the normal questions. I kind of threw us on a freaking tangent there. All right, question.
I'm all about tangents. It's all good.
It happens all the time, but usually that's usually near the end of these interviews. It just devolves outside of the usual stuff. All right, question number 10. Have you made any good friends in the community you'd like to shout out?
What? Team TVD, like the team we have right now, that's my ride or die. I want to just make things with these people for like the rest of my life, because this group has been like so fun to just sit down and like chill out and make things with. So obviously, like, big shout outs to like the other leads for Team TVD, so HBK and Jorge. So those are those are my broskies. Like, I hope we can just keep making things together, and then like complete chats like everyone who in the Team TV, because it's like at this point now, like I've gotten to reach out to so many like cool people who I've in the community who are now like are like actively like, yeah, I want to help on this thing, and I'm like, and like so the fact that we have this team full of so many like talented chill people is like, it feels like a blessing to have. That way so I can just hop into a VC at any point, even if I'm not working anything. And then we just like have a chill time. So like the big shout outs to like I cannot
there's like a huge
chill
list.
The other members of Team
just
TV,
starts rapping like Eminem during that one song.
There's way too many specifically to list, but like everyone in Team TV is like,
I got a list. Here's the order and the list that it's in. I had to. The demons in my head wouldn't shut the up.
No, that's real. That's entirely valid.
But yeah. But finding that group that you just click with is always a magical feeling. Even if they drift apart eventually, you got the memories.
Yeah, but which is why I'm so happy that we're like, everyone doesn't want to drift apart. Everyone just wants to be like, I want to do more Flavor Rave. I want to do more TVD. So I'm like, hell yeah, I don't want to lose any of y'all. So we're gonna keep going with all of y'all intact, and we're just gonna see what we can do.
Yeah, that's good times. All right, let's go ahead and move on to number 11 then. Did you have any inspirations for your work?
I think when you look at a lot of like what the kind of mods I direct and like the things I like influence as a director putting into the mods, it's very clear like what a lot of my interests are. And so like when you look at something like DDTO, which is like a mod that's like very dialogue heavy, you can tell like I love writing. So like and things like
really
and visual novels in general are just like something that have been big inspirations to me. So like there's so many little like nods to other things beyond just, you'll see like how there's a whole hidden song from a completely different visual novel in that mod, because I'm like, I like this so much. Or like I have like an undying love for fighting games, so there's so many like fighting game influence in things we do. Like if people remember the one shot like D-Sides fan mod we made of like DDTO meets D-Sides, that whole mod was like a complete just like homage to King of Fighters and SNK in general. So like, things like that. So just like shouting out, like putting little nods and everything to things I love like that. So it's like I love like all these like I like weird older games. I love like weird genres of music.
Yeah.
So like, and so much of that like love for those kind of things is present in like what we do for both DDTO and Flavor Rave, and it'll continue to happen because as like I try to branch out to listen to more things to get more inspiration, so now I'm like listening to more genres of music I don't usually listen to, because I'm like, okay, maybe this could be a Flavor Rave thing. And now I'm like, oh, this is like, oh, these new bands I've never heard of, these new musicians, this is cool. Like I want to like show my love of this thing to like everyone else, and then it's been working so far. Like I mentioned in like a thread that like Lodestar was specifically based on the music of the pirate metal band Ailstorm, which is a band I love to death. So that song was very heavily inspired by what they do.
I gotta listen to some of that then, because that was really good.
So like so that's another thing. I'm like, okay, we put a little bit of that interest in, or like I'm trying to think of other. Like,
that's the best part about the
examples.
modding community is that everyone has their own experiences and particular. I don't know what the term is, but basically they have their own favorites and. You can experiment and see what people like. Yeah, like different niches and different things to fixate on. Mm-hmm. See? Yeah. Right.
But like, I like so much of what I love is like injected in some way into these things because like I have to find some way to like to shill my internal brain rot for things somewhere, and and then the people who can recognize those things like tend to appreciate it.
Yeah. That's the best thing about niches. Yeah. But yeah, that should do that for that question. All right, so you've been in the FNF community for a while, so this question might take a minute. How has your outlook on the modding community changed over the course of your work?
I think it started off like I think it's pretty early on where just like I think it felt like a little bit chill. Like everyone was just kind of like. There's like so many like people being like, oh man, like it would be cool if I can do my own thing for this, and then having our opportunity to do that ourselves led to like other people being like inspired by what we do, and it's became that, especially that very early phase was like a lot of that, just like a lot of people just all wanting to do stuff, and then things were slowly coming out. So like the earliest things were starting to happen, and then from there, like there's like so many like really cool options, really cool characters to see. And it was very like a very nice, inspiring time early on. And that was also when base game was getting updated more frequently. So it's like that early phase was like it was like a honeymoon period of the community. And then as like time goes on, like base game takes a bit longer to update, and then mods start becoming a bit more like complex. Then I think that's when the sense of like standards started to creep up.
Yeah. And
that kind of never really stopped happening, and I feel like it really reached like an apex in like 2023 and then like early 2024, where now it feels like the standards for what we need to do in a mod like felt so high, because now we have all these crazy things, and now because
the barrier of entry just gets higher and higher.
Yeah, and then a lot less people are playing every mod now because there's so many options. So now if you really wanted to like get the attention of like some people who want to like play your mod, like you had to do so many things, and it's like and starts making when you approach it the mindset that you have to like fight for attention in this community, it becomes overwhelming. But then I feel like now we're at a part where things I think have mellowed out a little bit.
Yeah,
because
I'll definitely say they've mellowed out since January to this year, because there was shit going everywhere.
Yeah, like the things just feel like a lot more mellow, and because it's just like there's a lot less eyes on this community from an outsider's perspective. So there's a lot less people on the outside looking in, especially in an optimistic sense, because a lot of people on the outside looking to what to do, they see like, oh, what is this cringe evil cartoon character? Like, is this all we do? And it's like, no, but like, it's like, but even with that is what is in this community. It's like, the people who want to be here are here. The people who make comments like that are generally just the people who weren't gonna continue engaging with the community to begin with. So it doesn't matter what people say, people like that have to say about that, because it's like we're just kind of doing
you know what they say,
whatever.
We like what we like.
Screw them, who cares?
We like what we like.
This is the best opportunity to just really just do whatever, because like these standards of trying to get people's attention beyond this community is harder. So which is what kind of sucks if you really want to be like this popular mod, but like at this point, don't try to just be this popular mod. Just make something cool, because there's still a lot you can do.
Instead of chasing the trend, become the trend, is what I've been saying. By the way, Karoff in the space just shared a actual Doom FNF mod that came out like 3 months ago.
Sick.
Like, bruh, I was looking around for ages, like, yeah. This is versus
That's what I mean. It's so much
Funk
harder
and
to find
Tear.
things now.
Funk and Tear. Okay, I'll definitely keep an eye out for that because I am currently Doom pilled at the moment. Okay, so how's it going, Melody?
Hello, Mel.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next question. Because that question is usually pretty dang long. I feel like the community has gotten a little bit better since, especially January. We've gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Still a few missteps every now and then, which I have talked about. I said, like, yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna talk about drama on the main, I guess, in a sense, because that just drags my mood down for like a week. I do something. Anyway, question 13. You might have fun answering this one. Do you have any thoughts on the community's reaction to your work?
I get like with Flavor Rave, it's been like 95% positive, like
overwhelmingly positive
responses to what we do, which is honestly like it's kind of jarring, honestly. Like, because even when freaking DDTO was the thing we did, like that was like the ratio of positivity negativity felt a lot more like lower
towards positive.
So sometimes like if I see my mod out in the wild, like I have to like it's like I'm playing Russian roulette looking at the comments. So like if someone posts like if some like FNF songs like goes hard account posts like a song from DDTO, it's like playing Russian roulette whether or not like I read the comments and die a little bit.
Uh-oh. Spin the wheel, like, yeah, that sort of thing.
And sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, and I put my mood sinks. But like no, such is the thing when
that's the price. That's the price of posting.
So many eyes in an overwhelming sense. Like I don't think I want to make something like a DDTO anymore where it's that much attention from this specific kind of community. Like it's a lot, which is why I feel like I'm in a really nice spot with Flavor Rave where people consider us to be the only not like underrated OC mod of the modern day, because like we're always brought up in this, because there's always like a post every month being like, where are the OC mods, and like everyone says Flavor Rave to the point where people are sick and tired of people saying Flavor Rave, which, you know,
it becomes its own curse.
but it's fortunate that we have this position here where like we are that, and to people, and that people like enjoy our things enough to like where like everything around what we've done has been very positive. And even like the response to like our mod coming back recently for one final update, like there's so many people who are like, oh man, I was having a bad day, but then like seeing this made everything so much better. Like this mod means a lot to me. And it's like I'm so not used to that feeling that people have towards my work, because like
I know that so fucking well, you have no idea.
Because like with DDTL, people like obviously excited when we release things, but like the excitement that came from like Flavor Rave stuff felt more personal.
Yeah,
so
I mean, you worked your ass off to get it done. Yeah, it's gonna have a massive effect on you.
So it's like, especially that response is like what motivated us to bring back the mod for one last thing, and like to want to still do more with it, because this little niche we've carved for ourselves in this community has been very supportive.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very happy with the response to what we've been doing like lately.
Yeah, man. So Zancow said, yeah, y'all, I generally cry when the Fully Brewed trailer dropped, no joke.
I didn't think it would have that effect on people.
Well, when it becomes something that's very favorable to their tastes, in a sense, I don't know if I worded this right, but it has a higher effect. Yeah. It has a huge effect on their mental. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, but for example, on my end, like this whole interview account stuff, it's a lot of fucking work, but in a sense, I do use a lot of the same templates, so I feel like I could have done more. It's conflicting. But whenever I see like, hey, it's the interview guy on random Discords I join, and like, you motherfucker, just start laughing. Like, But yeah, from one creator to another, I understand that feeling. Like, man, that's kind of why I keep going in the FNF community, since I have never really had a negative experience in the community, personally.
You are lucky. I envy your position.
Well, I don't really post about anything without thinking it through. But then again, I am like 26.
Yeah, the curse of having a very young community of very
Yeah, you gotta be careful because this is what you don't say.
characters.
In some cases, it's what you don't say in the community that gets you in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. No joke. When the FR Fully Brewed trailer premiered, it made my day. Same, personally. I really enjoyed streaming it. That was during like a slow month too. Like I was running out of things to play. Like we're going through that same feeling right now, actually, as well. Like we're going through a bit of a mod drought. In a sense, like nothing lengthy, but I still find stuff to play. Shout out to Zancow being Mega Chad, bring up the FR community, being the goat, my third family. Reading YouTube chat's hilarious. But yeah, let's move on to question 14 out of 16. Here's another one that might take a minute. What are your thoughts on the EXE trend in the community? Since, like, for example, around the time when EXE dropped, like a bunch of the community from the EXE community joined the FNF community, which kind of causes problems when two communities clash.
I guess I have a specific perspective on it because I feel like EXE stuff has lasted for so long. To me, it doesn't really feel like a trend anymore. For me, I recognize EXE stuff as like a subsection.
Yeah, it's its own genre, definitely.
Yeah, so because there's people who got into the FNF through
been from
the versus
EXE.
Yeah, from EXE, and then so they follow the creators for that. And if they're people who come formerly from creepypasta stuff, they're going to be doing more of that. So that's sort of what they want out of mods. So
yeah,
they're gonna keep, and the people who make those things want to keep making those things.
And the biggest thing I also mentioned earlier is that the EXE community as a whole was kind of in its own little drought area before Luigi Kid started revitalizing it with the EXE challenges.
Yeah,
which I think he's still doing that stuff. Damn, respect to him. But anyway, I feel like that community kind of not jumped ship, but they kind of traded people in a sense. Like some people went to the FNF community for a bit, and then vice versa, and then they kind of settled within doing one or the other or both.
Yeah,
not a bad thing, but there's also some baggage that comes from each community.
Yeah, I guess it felt more so like a trend then because at the time when the EXE mod came out, the original one, that was a time where basically everyone was playing everything. Like it didn't matter if you cared about Sonic.exe. EXE mod was a new big mod, so you were playing it, and so you say to all the YouTubers playing it. And so which is why also why I feel like people will say that's also the golden era of OC mods, because there were just less mods that existed, so when something really good came out, everyone was playing it.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened with
Definitely.
Even if you weren't even if you didn't know this character or didn't know this franchise, there's a lot of people who didn't know what the hell DDLC was playing DDTO or
vice versa,
because it was just a thing to play. And through that, some people got into the things that these things were based on.
Yeah.
But also but with stuff like EXE, with how big it was, it's basically survived long enough and still going to where it's its own space.
It's its own niche. It's its own sub niche in the community.
Yes, it's its own niche, and because because people aren't playing everything anymore. People are only really playing their niches.
Big stuff,
because the random YouTubers who just play games who used to play FNF mods, they're not doing that anymore. You've only got a small handful of people who dedicate
stuck around
FNF stuff. Yeah.
I've been doing it myself for a couple years. It's still a pretty fun community for me, at least. This is probably the deepest I've gone into a community interacting with it instead of just watching it from the windowsill like that one Squidward meme.
Yeah, So yeah, I think it's just lasted long enough that enough people stuck around. So I see it less as a trend and more so just as its own subject section. But it definitely started trends.
Definitely.
It was definitely the source of random lyric section in the middle of your song, or just making characters.
Our quote unquote ethos, which that was another question on here, but a lot of people told me you probably shouldn't add that in here. A lot of people have negative takes on it. Which this whole thing is meant to be kind of positive.
Yeah, because I have
Yeah.
opinions on the Athos stuff, but like
Yeah, it's kind of why I
mostly
take stuff out.
my only thing, my piece on that is I just not a fan of how algorithmically charged it feels.
Yeah, it
And
feels like
that's my only
quote
that's
unquote
my piece I'll
clout
say on
chasing
it.
in there, in a sense.
Yeah.
I get that. What's up, Firmboxy? How's everyone in chat doing, by the way? I forgot to ask that earlier as well.
Hi, chat.
And YouTube chat. I used to stream these on Twitter and Twitch as well, but I just kind of dropped it because that's just burning a hole in my wallet for no added benefit.
Yeah.
And Twitter Spaces only lasts 30 days, so anyone here that wants to rewatch this, it's on the YouTube side permanently. But anyway, yeah, some questions I had taken out over time, like the Athos one, I tended to get either not a whole lot of thoughts on it because they didn't really look into it, like myself. I interviewed Boing Bingus a while back because I didn't know Athos that well either. Even I got a little bit of flack, like, hey, what are you doing with that? Because some people saw it as slightly controversial, I guess.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a pretty fun experience.
It is another facet that's laced with its own dramas and controversies,
Yeah.
but but it's also much like EXE stuff. It feels like it's its own subsection of things. And
Yeah, I feel it's more EXE coded than people think. I think.
Yeah.
Like aw shucks, in a sense.
I think people just find
Dark.
fighting evil entity of thing, especially something that is tied to existing IP, just very appealing, and that appeal has never really died because there's infinite amounts of characters you can just do that to.
Yeah.
So stuff like Athos, EXE, Pibby, all that stuff just falls into this kind of same. It's at its core, it's all sort of like the same type of thing.
Yeah, well, there are some. I've actually had several conversations about the EXE trend. A lot of people agreed it was a trend in other interviews. A lot of them said a lot of it sounds repetitive or you get the same kind of mod over and over again. There are a few I know for a fact are outliers, like the MCX Come Out to Play mod, where it's that one EXE that had like the Michael Jackson Thriller outfit. that was a one shot, and by Monocell. Really good.
Because even in their little subsection, there's people who love the EXE stuff who want to just still do unique things within that space, and that's how you get things like that. So it's just not going to be something I'm going to engage with because I'm not really a creepypasta person anymore, and also I'm not a huge Sonic the Hedgehog person in general.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm a bit of both, but it's fine. Everyone has their tastes. But yeah, I don't know. I like bringing this question up all the time because I do want to say there are diamonds in the rough in the quote unquote repetitive EXE mods.
Yeah,
the EXE Ultimate recently was just goofy as hell, and I loved it.
Younger me would have probably been more spiteful to it, but I feel like I've just mellowed out on community stuff a lot lately. So stuff like that really doesn't bother me as a thing that exists. So that's why I don't really see it.
Yeah, it comes out. It comes of age. Find the gems in the vast mines. Basically, find the diamonds in the rough, my guy. Anyway, let's get on to the second to last question. Do you have any upcoming projects you'd like to share?
I mean, we have mentioned a few times, Fully Brewed is going to be something that will hopefully come out within this month. That's what I'm shooting for. I've been working on it a little bit every day with the team, and I think we can definitely hit that goal. And then in terms of anything else that we have, it's stuff more for the far future because I have plans of things I would like to do, but it's way too early to really share the specifics. But branching out is one of the things that's number one on my mind. But branching out specifically with Flavor Rave to do more things outside of it because there's so many things we can do.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where
it's basically
my mind
their
is
own
for what I wanna
original.
do.
Yeah, the characters and the writing in your mod, dude, pristine. Good shit.
I'm glad people enjoy it as much as they do because it's been very enjoyable for me to do.
Yeah. Honestly, whenever I have seen other people play the mod as well, I lost count how many that didn't skip the dialogue. Actually, that's kind of rare from early days of FNF.
I'm glad most people at least read the main story dialogue. There's a lot of extra dialogue, there's a whole separate lore corner I have exclusively for that, which most people skip. for the Sin-Sun menu, which if you skip that, that's fine. I wouldn't take that
I
personally.
kind of did, but I also was getting kind of tired that day. But I did play the song with Sin.
That's more for like your free time if you really want to get a little bit more out of like the world and the characters we sell, because there's a lot.
Yeah,
but
the world
obviously
most
really people who are playing this mod are here for the core mod experience. So like that entire section, that is completely optional aside from one secret song but like you know,
for lore
it's
studies.
there for people who want it, and I'm glad people have wanted it and enjoy it as much as I do, because I put just as much time into that as I do with every other aspect of the mod.
All right. But yeah, fair enough. Onwards to the last question. Do you have any hobbies outside of the FNF community?
It's I don't know. I feel like the things I do at FNF encompass like a lot of the things I enjoy just doing in general. Like
that
the only thing the only thing I can't express that like I like doing that in like a mod is just like taking walks, I guess. Like I like to walk around places a lot and just like be in different spots, and like I like traveling a lot as well. So, but like most of my key interests like are drawing, writing, listening to music. Those are the three things I do like on a daily basis, and all of that
tends to dictate. From what I've been, I've had this question on for about maybe 15 interviews. That tends to dictate where you will most likely be in the mod community. Like if you like writing, if the mod has writing, that's generally where a lot of people tend to be. Your personal hobbies will often, in general, that's just a general thing. I don't know why I'm even explaining this, but yeah, it's kind of self-explanatory at that point. It makes sense though.
You see what I love and the work I put out, because it's a culmination of everything I like, and like
you already do.
I should probably find more cooler, unique things to like spend my time doing, but like as of right now, like this is what I like doing with the position I have in, like at the moment. So that's how kind of what I end up doing outside of it. I don't have anything crazy else I do.
Yeah, fair enough. Alrighty, so we're at the point where it is open Q&A. So I'm gonna be scrolling down the Twitter side of things and swap between YouTube and Twitter, and we'll see how we go. All right, so let's see here. I got one from a good friend, Monkey Boy. If you were to make another sides mod one shot for a Team TBD mod, what would it be?
I don't really have too much interest doing like I guess like things based on other side things. I wanted to do more with like the DDTO D side stuff, but that plan kind of fell through. So since then I've kind of just been like everything I want to do is exclusively like within my own within what we do in TBD. There was like people who have followed my art. There was that series I used to do called like Desync, which was basically like my own take of like an FNF AU with like fun designs. So if I really wanted to do something like that, it would maybe be something with that idea, but also like that idea is sort of like kind of like moved on from it a little bit, and a lot of the ideas I had for that got like reused in some way for something I want to do for like Flavor Rave or another thing. So I don't think I would be doing any like more like one shots based on like I guess like remix mods.
Yeah, Cherry Draws posted a comment saying, do you have any non-FNF projects coming up? If so, would it be flavor related? And they said, oh, ignore this one. But I'd love to see an animated mini-series or something like that. That'd be pretty sick, actually.
There are a lot of like avenues we are trying to explore for like things we can do for like things in Flavor Rave. I think a full animated series might be a bit much on us as a first thing. Yeah. But there are other ideas we have to tell the stories we want to tell. So it's all in a matter of time.
You can always do like mini short stuff, like 30-second long ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. Basically to flesh out personalities idea. But all right, I got another one for Twitter, and then I'll jump to YouTube. William asks, "What's your favorite dinosaur?" And it showed a picture of. You can see it.
That's a good question.
You gotta do the meme answer.
I know. Actually, I feel like I don't know. It's the kind of thing where, like, I feel like I have to like say like a cool answer because it's like different. Since I was younger, I loved Triceratops.
Same, honestly.
I'm just going to I'm assuming my taste in dinosaurs has not changed.
Yeah, mine used to be T-Rex, but I kind of changed it to Triceratops myself, like maybe like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Here's one from someone I've interviewed in the past, Kian. I got 3 questions, if that's okay. My bad, I forgot. You were such a great fan of 5 years. Sorry. I'll do this one and then move back to YouTube. My bad. What was the idea behind DDTO Bad Ending? Was it Duster's idea himself, or did a member of Team TBD suggest it?
So with Bad Ending, it mostly came the idea that, like, since regular DDTO is obviously it's based on a horror game, but I focus more on the not horror aspects of the DLC in that mod, because that's the aspect of that game I enjoy the most. Like, I love Act 1 of DDLC is my favorite part of that game, which most people's favorite part is usually like Act 2 or 3, where, you know, things get spooky.
Everything goes to hell, yeah.
But like, and as much as I love that part too, like, what I always appreciate the most of with DDLC is just like characters talking and having like genuinely engaging things to say about like writing and things like that.
The writing is
the
really
banter
well made.
between that. So but like, obviously I still want to be able to explore the horror aspect of DDLC a little more in the mod. So, but it didn't feel like it made sense to do it in DDTO, like the main one. Yeah. So that's what ended up sparking like the idea for wanting to do like a side mod of it. On top of like some of our musicians on the team were also very interested in doing like more horror music, because there was very light horror music in DDTO. It's like Matt Money was one of the people was like, hey, I want to do like a scarier Yuri song. So here's what I did for
more
this.
More
like, okay,
notes.
This is cool. So like, let's see what we can do with this. And that's what led to Bad Ending, which is basically us going a bit more into horror. And that's and doing that got like my horror fix for FNF mods out of the way.
Yeah, I actually did that one too. I actually did stream that one. I just double check. I can't view when it's from because Opera GX is having an aneurysm loading YouTube streams right now for some reason on my end. But it's probably within the last year I played it. But yeah, that's question number 1 from his. What's your favorite part about working on Flavor Rave? Good question, Kian.
I think it's just like me being able to just like pace around my room, just like brainstorming over concepts, and then just being able to present ideas, and then have other people on the team present really fun ideas, because there's so many like moments of spontaneous things that come up with just being like someone being like, what would this thing in Flavor Rave be like, and then we just start just talking about that. Like, this isn't really a leak because it's not really something we have like super major plans about, but like we were talking about dinosaurs before and we're like, what would dinosaurs be like in Flavor Rave? So we were just drew a bunch of like random like food-based dinosaurs just for the fun of it. And like we might not even ever use them for something actually in Flavor Rave, but like just doing random spontaneous things like that is so like fun as like a thing.
Everyone's talking about dinosaurs on YouTube. Sorry.
Hell yeah.
Dinosaurs. Yes, they've always been. But yeah, I had to point it out. Like everyone's talking about their favorites. Flavorsaurus Rex. That has to be something.
The little thing like Juno drew was like the Tiramisu Rex. So it was like a tiramisu dinosaur. It was like really cool.
Yeah.
And like a bunch of stuff like that. It was like, this stuff might not ever like make it into official like Flavor things we do, but like just doing fun things like that is like my favorite.
If you guys like dinosaurs so much, I got a game that you might like from the DS era. Fossil Fighters. Look into it.
I was like, please say Fossil Fighters.
Yes! Somebody gets it.
Like I grew up on the DS heavy, so that stuff like that was like my childhood.
Hell yeah, man! I never got the 3DS one. I gotta get to that. But anyway, side tangent. Yeah, I haven't heard anyone talk about Fossil Fighters in ages. So I actually got emotional there.
It's good. I played the hell out of that when I was younger.
I need to play that again. That actually looks cool. What the heck? Apparently, we just shared that with a bunch of people. Fuck yeah. Fossil Fighters mod win.
See, this interview was secretly a psyop to get people to play Fossil Fighters.
We need to make a Fossil Fighters mod where the gallery is you digging up the people's credits.
Oh, man.
It's very wacky of a series, trust me. Max, stop. But anyway, no, seriously, look at the Fossil Fighters if you are curious about dinosaur stuff. But anyway, let's get back to the interview stuff. Side tangent after side tangent. I got one more from Kian during his first post. Anything scrapped from DDTO Plus that didn't make the light of day?
From Plus, there was a few things that like, because there's a lot. I know I've talked about a lot of like the things I wanted to do that like got scrapped or reworked. I had this whole thing like a little thread I made a while back for when first like DDTO came out or DDTO Plus came out, and we were trying to decide like the side story songs and just figuring out what to do for those because we wanted to make sure like every character got equal amount of representation. So like it was like Monica has to show up at least once and only once. Like Yuri and Natsuki have one, Siri has one. Everyone just needs to have one, so that way there is no like obviously with Monica we can get a bit more biased on content because she literally stars as the playable character in an entire week, but like for that the side stories I wanted to keep things pretty even, so it was a matter of really figuring out like how to keep everything even with that, and a lot of ideas like came and went for things, and one of the big ones that I had made a whole thread about was an idea of like a DDLC versus FNF song where it would be like the characters going against more base game characters, which would have had like Pico, Tankman, and the Spooky Kids show up in a song, which is an idea that I initially scrapped and that got reworked into the song of the entire club versus girlfriend with Love and Funkin.
Yeah.
But then that same idea would come back later when we did our final farewell update where we had like 3 special remixes that featured Pico, Spooky Kids, and Tankman, and things like that, or like how like we just really sat down to figure out like what we need to do. But that was sort of like the major like big thing that almost made it in but then got changed into something else. And there's a lot of like smaller things. I know another thing I've talked about before was I wanted there to be a little lore corner in DDTO where you can ask Monica questions, and I wrote things for that menu that never really got posted anywhere because I didn't have where to post it. But that idea ended up getting like scrapped because it would have been a lot of work for something extra. But then that idea came back and manifested into the Sin Sun menu for Flavor Rave.
Yeah, that's a good idea, honestly. There's not a lot of mods out there that have their own in-depth lore as well, I've noticed over the years. All right, well, thanks for answering Kian's questions. Sorry I'm a bit late. It's all good. You're all good, Gateway. But any questions from the YouTube side while we're here? Scrolling up while we're waiting. Favorite FNF character?
I'm assuming we're talking like base game or like OC character.
Yeah,
I guess characters specifically from base game. I have Takeman bias. I like the monochromatic like color scheme he has, and I just like his voice and his chromatic a lot. So
he ascends during guns.
So anytime I could like we do anything with that character, that's usually the one I like doing stuff with the most. Yeah, especially in terms of like just either drawing or just like engaging with like anytime there's like a mod that has like a Tankman song, I'm like, ooh, I want that, I want to see that.
I saw a good question on YouTube. 1 second. All right, so was all the DDTO and Flavor Rave writing done by you, or did you have a bit of help in the writing process?
All writing in the mods we do is basically entirely done by me. Like I kind of spend a lot of time just doing it myself. The main points where I will ask for some sort of assistance is for very specific things. Like, for example, like Savory, he is a character that is a primary Spanish speaker, so sometimes his lines will be in Spanish. So like I will work with people on our team who can handle like translating what he says to Spanish, so that way like the character he's presenting is the most effective, so he's not just always English just because it's a mostly English mod, things like that. But other than smaller things like that and like other like ideas from people in the team being like, oh, it'd be cool if like this was like a lore point for this character, but the very specific writing all of it since DDTO has been done by me. So every piece of dialogue has been typed out by specifically me.
That's nuts, man. Alrighty, thanks for your question there. Checking. Oh, by the way, I think they asked the same question on Twitter as well, so I'll keep an eye on that one. All right, interesting. Thanks for the answer. That was really well done. All right, here's one by Zancow. They said, "Hey, Duster, hope you're doing well. I hope you know your work has inspired me as a creative, so I can't thank you enough. My own question is basically what your favorite mod/songs are. Just curious."
Okay, so I know I mentioned like Monochrome is like eternal favorite from before, but my favorite like mod in general is definitely Friday Night Troubleshooting. That is like my go-to like other like favorite OC mod in the community, and just like one that like does like a lot of like it does just a lot of the same things that we do with Rave, where it's like it has its own like lore and these like fun characters and this very like deliberate style and music by like really talented and really nice people, because I've had the honor to be able to get to join that team recently and be able to like talk and work with them to help on their final update, and like talking with them like and seeing all the whole things they do and like the way they go about the things they do is immediately I understand why this is like my favorite mod to come out of the community. And like it's also cool just talking with like the leads behind that mod, like Zero and Phantom Fear, because whenever we talk about like each other's work, it's literally like us being like basically us telling each other like, yeah, the thing you made is like the thing I wish I could make, or, like the thing the kind of mod I would make, just saying that to each other. So having the people who made my favorite thing say that the thing I made is like one of their favorite things, and maybe they'll tell that back, just like makes the camaraderie and my appreciation for their work like tenfold.
I gotta ruin your mood there, but I've never actually played Troubleshoot.
You should. It's good.
I know, I've known of it. I just can't find the time nowadays with the interviews taking a couple hours sometimes. And I can't really do it on a Monday because, I gotta sleep. I'll get to it eventually. And I was told, like, hey, you might as well wait for the update as well. But I've never actually played it.
Will take a bit more time for it to come out, but like, I still think the current release of V2 is still worth checking out, because there's going to be a lot that comes with V3, because originally they were going to have like a V2.5 come out, but then they decided to just like hold back and just wait to release everything all at once as a V3.
That's fair.
So like, if you have ever had a time, that is my #1 mod recommendation.
Trust me, I'll get to it eventually. I've seen playthroughs of it ages and ages ago. So although I don't remember the songs as well as I used to, I can guarantee. But I guess like to go on the topic of like more favorite songs, like because another one of my like top favorite songs in FNF is from Troubleshooting, called Maelstrom, which that song is so cool visually, it's so cool compositionally, and just like, so that's another like I've so heavy bias towards that. So that mod, so that's like my #1 thing. Like, do that one. Nice. All right, so here's another question from the username Search on Bing on YouTube. Favorite non-OC mod?
Favorite non-OC. That is, I had to think about one for them, because like, there's definitely a lot of like mods that have come out, because I kind of gravitate mostly towards the OC mods. If I had to really narrow down to pick like I have to really narrow down to pick like one specific non-OC one. That's like, this is one that has really like stuck with me as something I really like, and it's a mod that has not actually like that. I think pretty sure got like canned like a long while ago, but it's something I still really enjoy. Is S&B Funk Mix.
Yes.
I think I would choose that as my favorite non-OC FNF mod.
That one actually gave me a run for my money back then.
Like that. Even to today's standard, that mod feels like so like the love for like Mario in that like in the retro like NES sense, but also just like other random Mario things in general is like, it felt like you could feel it, and like you could tell how much attention to detail is like, and how much they understood what they're doing. So that and like obviously it's been a long time since that mod has really been
Yeah.
in the spotlight, but that is, I think, will always be like.
I
one
think it
that's,
needs
like,
to come back eventually. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was actually
Like-
there was a mod that was based off of it. Have you heard of SMB Funk Mix Game Over?
Yeah, that's that. I know that's the other thing. With I feel like most people remember it nowadays for, which is Game Over. Which
Yeah.
that song is good. That I might not be like a creepypasta person. I do fuck with MX though. He's cool. So that song is
There
good.
you go. I'm kidding. But
So,
yeah, that was
like-
actually one of my first walls in FNF when I was starting out, honestly.
That song is
Yeah.
hard. I can't beat it.
I got around to coming back to it. I think I talked about it in another interview, but I actually beat it by technically using bot play, but it didn't show it for some reason. I believe the key was H if you tapped it. At the time of me streaming it on Twitch years and years ago, I did not realize like that's why the notes were glitching out for the hold notes. And then somebody pointed out like, dude, why did you have bot mode on? Like, I had what on? I eventually went around and did it again on YouTube. No problem though. So that's that's the only reason I kind of remember it myself. Because I didn't intentionally do that though. I don't use that shit.
Yeah.
Alright. Run, flee, you cannot escape me. Sky.
Run, flee, you cannot escape.
Me.
Oh my god, that
The lyrics.
Juno's Game Over with lyrics is like an inside
Yes.
joke with me and my friend Jorge. We will sing it randomly.
I actually have game over on my Spotify, I believe. I think someone posted it on Spotify. But anyway, let's go back to the Twitch side of things, Twitter side of things. Is there any reason why your sprites for the Star of Markov got fully remade?
That was my own personal choice because I just thought the first initial sprites for Markov, I was just kind of lazy on those. I'm gonna be honest. They were just kind of boring, and they just reused a lot of assets. I'm like, so when we had to do the unfair update for Bad Ending, I'm like, I could make this intro so much cooler. So
It was
then
really
that's why
good.
I went out of my way to redo the intro, and it hits so much better now with her like,
Yes.
ominously walking up versus her just like fading in and looks weird. That was just me wanting to do that because I wanted to look cooler.
Yeah, a part of me wanted to think like, wait, is she gonna teleport from left right as she gets closer? Like it would make it look like a glitch effect, as my mind was thinking of after playing through that intro. I don't know, idea I had, but I'm pretty sure you probably had it as well. Who knows? Anyway, what's your recent thoughts with the Flavor Rave community by far? Is another question.
I am very surprised how many like super dedicated people there are within like the community surrounding this thing we have made, because like, and that's why like which is nice because it makes me want to like do things that cater them specifically, because like a lot of people at large they're not like going to the Sensa menu to read the lore, things like that, but those people are. And I'm like, oh, if people want to do this, well screw it, I'm gonna like put more things into this and then add more hints to like lore stuff. I'm gonna start setting things up for when we do. I'm gonna set things up when we do non-FNF stuff, because all of that is like going to come back in some way. And and for the people who have been there, like super excited for what we did, which is like a lot of people in that like very dedicated part of like the Flavor Rave community, like that's for them, like, because the fact that we have people like that is why I want to do more things like that. Just like really show all these cool things that like I want to set up, because we have so many designs and so many stories we want to share, and we can't do that yet because I don't want to just like post them, and
You don't want to spoil it yet.
I want there to it be shown in the way I want it to. But like when I finally get to do that, like, and some people be like, oh
They'll
man,
be
they've been setting up this non-FNF thing since like V2 of the mod. So like, and if you were there, you would have known.
Yeah, you cater to the audience that has formed around something you love creating. That's kind of what the creative spirit's all about. That's at least what I picked up over the past 4 years of being in the FNF community myself. I still genuinely do enjoy making FNF stuff myself. Well, playthroughs and playtesting, I guess. But yeah, here's one we already answered this one, so I'm just gonna let CDU know that one later. Huge fan of Duster's art, so I was curious if there's anyone he got inspiration for them.
For like my art in general, I'm assuming.
Yeah, your art inspiration. Your art inspiration.
Yeah. So my art style is singular, so it's very very cartoonish and very rooted in like thick outlines and bold like soft bold like cell shading. And I think one of my biggest inspirations in terms of art is the artist Gen Kobayashi, who is he's an artist at Square Enix, who is the lead the art director for The World Ends With You, which is like one of my favorite art styles ever in anything. So that is a very big inspiration for how I like drawing things. I love seeing like the way they make shapes look so sharp and the way lines go and the way you can like
freaking
stylize
good. I need to
characters.
finish that game, I swear.
Like that is like such a big like source of inspiration for my style.
That game's on my to-do list to get done eventually. There's so many games coming out.
There's a lot of games, but that one is definitely worth it. And also like anytime like a game has like a really cool like bold art style, like it's always something that's like ends up being something I like want to look at. There's a lot of like very specific examples. Like another example I like a lot is Wind Waker for Legend of Zelda. It has like a very cartoony art style, but it's such an appealing cartoony art style that like I use as a source for how I proportion things. Or like what's the other ones, like it's like this inspiration you can pull from just about anywhere. And there's another artist I have to remember.
Yeah, okay. Riley Dreams says, okay, I might have to head out now. Getting quite tired. Hope you two have fun. Thanks for joining in, Riley.
Thank you for tuning in. I have to remember the artist's name, but there's if you know the game, the Nintendo Switch game ARMS, the 2D art for that. The 2D art for that game is some of my favorite. It's another. Really
no one talks about ARMS anymore.
Because like ARMS kind of just doesn't have any content being made of it officially.
No.
But like when you look back and like see all the amazing 2D art they do for that series, it's like some of my favorite to look at, and it's a huge inspiration for me as well. I want to lean more into like that style because I'm a very big fan of that game, and like
it's a good game.
That and like Splatoon also are like really big inspirations for how I like doing world building with like these cool like urban settings and these weird ideas.
Wait, ARMS is getting a Switch 2 upgrade?
Yes, it is.
I didn't really think it needed it.
I think it's just like it's not like
FPS.
a constant update. It's more just like FPS resolution upgrade for the system.
I remember that's
nice.
like one of the first games I got for my own Switch. But Hi, caramba. Chat saying bro's vocal cords crashed out for a couple seconds. Mine says that too. Nah, I can actually go that deep willingly. It's just on occasion my emotions come out. 4K, better frame rates, HDR for ARMS. I'm on the fence when it comes to HDR stuff. It just messes with my PC at times, but it looks nice though. All right, so here's another one by Bad Time. What's the most fun thing to do when working on Flavor Rave? Art, music, etc.?
It's not, I guess the most fun thing to do with working on Flavor Rave, less so comes from the work itself, but the work comes from the like camaraderie we have as a team where we're working on literally anything. Because we could be working on music, we could be doing art, we could be doing charting, or literally anything. But and it could be a very entertaining process with the whole team together, making it a fun process.
Yeah.
So it could be any process can be fun with the right people, and with Team TVD, it's all the right people coming in to do fun stuff, and then from there, like all of our like actual genuine work will be spliced in with like inside jokes and like fun bits that sometimes leak on Twitter that have people very confused, or like because like we'll be doing actual work and then suddenly like one of our musicians like will make a joke and one of our musicians makes a joke song out of it. Shouts to Bones, shouts to Noichi.
I interviewed them in the past too.
Yeah. I remember their reveal trailer had Bones in it. I was like, yes, Bones propaganda.
Bones. Here's one thing from HPK. Hello, Duster. I have a question. Why do you bully me by selecting the takes for my voice cracks? What did I do to deserve this? /J.
Well, as my friend, you are subjected to my constant bullying, but also I've told you the reason. Because sometimes you'll have like a voice take that sounds like you had a crazy voice crack. like I know like in Flavor Rave, one of the lines he's specifically referring to is like there's a line of one of Sour's game over lines has him go like, "Yo, what?"
Yeah,
And like
I remember him talking about it.
the take I used, I guess he had a voice crack in it. I couldn't tell, but like I used it because even if he did voice crack, that just makes like him being baffled by losing sound just that more genuine.
Yes, it gives that emotion. Like what?
Just like, and like I love that voice line. So like to the point where like I have now also reused it in a dialogue scene that's coming in fully brewed because it's such a good line. Like you might see it as bullying and being like, oh god, why did I do that? But like people aren't thinking about that when they're listening to that line. They're thinking about like, damn, he sounds like he's upset. So genuinely.
Yeah, in canon, Sour is cracking his voice all the time. IMA. Lamau, as much as that was an accident, that was priceless. The Sour voice crack was canon.
But now every time HBK gives me voice lines and he gives me like the long like reels of all the takes to use, like
so you just cut it out.
Sometimes they'll have some of his takes will have voice cracks in it. He'll stop, and every time he's like, "Don't use that one. I'll kill you."
Don't you fucking dare. You gotta have a blooper reel on the next one, dude. I swear.
If the people on the team are okay with it and there's enough, I might.
It's just for fun, HBK.
Because
you're one chill motherfucker, HBK. Come on, let him.
Like when we like people send me like lines, I always tell them to send me like the full take of what you did, even if there's like random mess ups or like other random messages, because it makes my job sorting them a lot more entertaining when like someone is like reading their line and suddenly they go in some like random tangent or make a weird sound. We call them schizo takes because it's just them rambling for a long time. So them just like talking to themselves as they're trying to do the lines, as they occasionally like will mess up a line and then they'll start like making some weird sound or doing some weird joke. And I love that. It makes my process fun.
Yeah, so like, that's just a fun thing. Like, I know you're listening, Duster. You better not fucking do that, you piece of shit. That sort of thing. It's like talking to an editor. Like, you better leave this out, dude, and just leave it in. But yeah, that'd be a pretty fun extra or hidden thing somewhere in the files, because you know I will find that shit. Anyway, what are your thoughts about Doki Doki extras according to Aqua Knight?
I have not really kept up with a lot of like spin-off mods or like mods inspired or based on DDTO, mostly because once DDTO was done, my interest in DDLC was sort of like shifting. Because that's when Flavor Rave started kicking in, and once Flavor Rave B2 was out and everyone was like all over that, I was like, this is the only thing I'm gonna be thinking about for the next like 3 years.
This is gonna be my personality for 2 years.
Yeah, so like I haven't engaged super much with like it's kind of hard to engage with like a lot of like the fan mod stuff, most because there's a lot of it, and much like the same reason why like Dan Salvato doesn't engage with like a lot of the fan content for DLC. It's because it's mostly just because like he doesn't want to feel like he's giving bias to certain mods or certain works. So like I can't, because I feel like if I play one, I have to play them all.
I get that so hard with this account too. Some people are saying, "Oh, he's doing only the popular people." No, it's completely randomized to people that get selected for these interviews. Because I do occasionally, I do.
That's why I still
like,
really play them.
Yeah, I get that. I do usually try to mix up the from popular to least popular if I can, but at the end of the day, it's all random. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get that feeling. Like, and I do have. There's like 150 replies to the form. Like, I don't have time to get through all of them. Eventually, I'm just gonna end up having to leave some just undone.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but like you are a singular person running this show, so it's like.
Well, I do have the promo team, but everyone's kind of drifting apart. Oh, I don't know, man. It might just be me not doing enough. At pings. I don't know. I don't like annoying people. Like, hey, who's gonna do this? Who's gonna do that? I don't know. That's why there hasn't been a lot of promos for the interviewees lately. I don't know. I don't like bothering people, and I have offered to do commission stuff, but stuff never works out either way. Like, I don't mind paying them, but a lot of the time when I did offer when we started out doing those, they just declined it. All right. Anyway, we got another question from Delilah the Candy Queen. Hey Duster, who are some of your favorite Flavor Rave characters? Also, what was it like when you first came up with the idea from Flavor Rave? I think you're kind of answered the second part.
Yeah, I answered the second one because it wasn't really my idea initially. It started from a piece of concept art from one of our artists, Lisa, and then from there it spiraled into what it was, and then the piece started forming, and it was my job as director to like put those pieces together in a way that like makes sense and makes like a really cool like final finished work. But in terms of like what my favorite character in Flavor currently, it's Spicy, 100%, both for design and character. There's so much things I want to do with that character soon that it's going to take a bit, but she is my favorite.
It is a fan favorite. She is a fan favorite.
Of the currently revealed characters, because there's a lot that we haven't shown yet, she is my favorite.
Agreed. I still love Flavorscape. I think it was called the song. Yeah. That's still my favorite. I think I sped that one up by 150%. Still good. Anyway, we got a question from another one from Monkey Boy. I play a bunch of mods regardless. Some of the EXE mods I do check out have gone down interesting and unique directions, especially with Welcome Back so far. Oh, actually, this wasn't a question, my bad. What was it like when you started to make Flavor of characters with Team TBD? Also, what's your favorite part about working with them? We kind of already answered that one too. Yeah.
I mean, everyone like 6 months ago. The main cast of Flavor is all created by different people on the team. So like Lisa was the designer for a lot of majority of the base cast, but then say like Tangy was designed by our artist in VA. Hisa, like Salty was designed by Juno. Bitter was designed by Space Dust, and a lot of like the supporting cast, like throughout like all the background characters you see that are like original to this series or designed by a bunch of different people. Some of them designed by me, some of them designed by like this person, this artist. And what's nice is that like the ability to create potential like characters and ideas for Flavor Rave is open to anyone on TBD. So even if you're like a charter and like making character concepts is not like your thing, but you want to do it and you want to pitch something, that is completely open to you. And if there's a way to implement it in a way that really like is a way to showcase the idea, and we've had a cool idea for how to put that into the whole grand scheme of things, then like we'll do it. And so I'm happy that everyone can have the opportunity to do that. It's kind of, as my job as director, to have to make sure everything fits in properly, because like obviously we can't just have everyone doing things willy-nilly, because then that becomes a mess. So it's kind of my job to make sure everything makes sense.
Organizing.
But the ability to present things, or someone to be like, hey, I would love to help. I might be like a random like programmer on the team, but could I also do a voice acting thing for this character? Like, or that's completely open. Like some of the characters who have voices in Flavor Rave, like some of them were just like, I would look at like one of my art friends who's not even an FNF and be like, hey, you're not even a voice actor, would you like to voice this character for me, because I think you'd fit, type deal.
Chat said Spicy is the kind of girl to fall down the stairs in a comical manner and get up before going, I meant to do that, and acting like nothing happened. yeah, pretty much. Stroop Wharf said, and this ain't a question, but I thank you from the bottom of my heart that Flavor Rave was such an amazing experience and community that you bring to us. I appreciate your amazing work in making this. Oh,
thank you.
Stroop Waffo. Alright, so let's see here. They answered for their inspirations for their work: Midnight Masses, Golden Age, FNF. We already answered that one by Finn. As that showcase yeah, they made their own mini thread there. Alright, here's one by APOC. If Flavor Rave didn't get canceled, do you think it would still continue in FNF, or would it get shifted outside of FNF in the future? If so, which version would it stop?
So I think I made a whole post-mortem thread of like what Flavor Rave would have been if it went exactly with no big like issues in between like we had when we were trying to release 2.5. Like it would have ended at V3. That would have been the final thing, absolutely. And then from there, like our plans we always want to do, which is to move on from FNF and do stuff with Flavor Rave outside of it, would have continued the exact same. It's just now because even though we are doing fully brewed, it doesn't contain every idea we wanted to do in FNF. So like not every plan for V3 is within fully brewed. Fully brewed is mostly just to wrap up the things that did have actual progress in the mod that like didn't get finished when we released the initial canceled build. So but those ideas can still show up at some point in the future when we do some on FNF stuff. But like if we didn't have like that initial shakeup that led to us to like finding was sort of like a compromise with fully brewed getting the things we wanted to get done, then it would have ended at V3. And then from there we would have moved on as normal.
All right, fair enough. All right, I got one more in my notifications asking 2 questions if it's okay. What got you into DDLC in the first place, and what did you want to make to... I think they meant why did you want to make versus Monica / DDTO?
It was school friends who got me into DDLC the first time because it was at the time when it first came out, so it was like the hit new horror indie game coming out, and I generally have never been like that into a lot of like horror indie games. Like I've never been into FNAF or Bendy, so like I was always skeptical. I like V-Side. I'm just like not super crazy for it. I just think I'm like casually think it's good, and that's all my opinions on it. And it's kind of cool to see like. With Me-Side, there's that whole recent thing where they're collabing with DDLC for like an art contest, which is really cool to see those things come together.
Yeah.
Like, indie horror is always something that like was not really.
It's a big niche.
But when DDLC came out, and like I was like, you know what, I'll finally give it a try. Like that game was like really stuck with me initially for its horror stuff because like all the subversions and stuff like that were cool, and like I've never seen like things like this before. Obviously it's not the first VN to ever do this, or like it's not like the first psychological fourth wall breaking horror game, but like the way they do it in this game is great. And then as I started engaging with it more, I start to appreciate just like the more traditional VN aspects of it, of like characters just talking, having interactions, and like that became, and the characters themselves became very appealing to me, which is why like a lot of what I do regarding like DDLC content I make when I made it, it was like just like that kind of art. And Monica became my favorite character very quickly, and like favorite character in just fiction in general. So like I started becoming very hyper fixated. So what I would like doing as an artist is like, okay, Monica's whole thing is breaking the fourth wall, and I like trying to mimic styles from other things. And like my whole stick for a while was like, I'm gonna draw Monica as if she was a character in this game. So here she is in the Ace Attorney art style, or here she is in like this game's art style, and I just keep doing that. And Monica Full Week mod started off as just that, being like, okay, here's her in FNF Week 6 style. And then that's when people was like, this idea is cool, I want to see a mod of it. And then from there, it became
fell into place.
What it became.
Yeah.
And then that became the big thing I would do. But that it all started with me just like being really liking that one character, and then from there expanding it into like what we did with DDTO. And that, but it really came down to like my school friends getting me on that game initially, back when I was in like, I forget whether I was in middle school or high school when it came out, because it was like long ass time ago. I think it was like early high school for me.
Ay caramba. I never actually played the DDLC. Seen playthroughs and a breakdown of all the jump scares by I forget his name on YouTube, but he actually broke down the code about it, how it all works. Actually, it's like I think it was like an hour-long video where he discussed how the code worked compared to a lot of it was like percentage chances, and even showed how like you can't go back to other acts until you finish because of this code here and that code there. He also broke down the AI for FNAF as well back then. I don't think he ever continued. I haven't played it much either.
It is a game that as much as I've sort of like my interests have shifted, because it's hard to keep your interest in this one thing when Like it's only a singular game. It had like it got like the plus re-release with more content, which got me back like farther back into it, which helped the motivation for doing DDTO plus.
Yeah.
But like, because I'm pretty sure the original Doki Takeover came out on the same day as DDTO plus.
Shoutmon.
I mean DDLC plus. I mean, and then from there, DDLC plus inspired me to want to make DDTO plus. But even though I'm like my interest has waned in it because it's a game that's been like it's like 5 years old now, and now it doesn't really get too much content beyond like merch and stuff. So I'm like my interest has definitely shifted, but it's still a game that has its impact on my brain and on my wallet, because I look at the corner of my room and it's like my little Monica corner with like figurines and plushies.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all the questions I'm seeing on my end on the Twitter side of things. And if anyone else has questions, feel free to let them fly. Duster has a Monica shrine.
I kind of do. I have there's like an old picture of it.
It released in 2017.
Like all the Monica stuff I own.
God dang, I was just getting out of high school then.
Yeah, that was like early high school for me then. Oh jeez.
God, I feel old. I just realized DDLC turns 10 in 2 years, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. That's the feeling of you growing old.
Don't say that. Cue that one like Metal Gear Solid gif of like old
Snake.
That's how I feel when I hear something like that. It should not be that old.
I mean, FNF's like what, 4 years old almost or more.
Anytime I think back to like how like V2 or like V1 of Play Rave dropped like 3 years ago, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. How has the progress been on other Team TBD mods besides Flavor Rave? Good question.
Most of our priority has been on Flavor Rave. There are still a few smaller things we want to do within the team. Like I think the one other major mod that we have that is like progress is currently like on hold, but mostly because like the main people behind it are like busy at the moment. But the one thing we still want to go back to is our like working with Juno to do the remaster of Shinobi Scramble, which is like their old mod about like the 2 gay ninjas. And so that's something we're going to be working on internally a little bit, like once Flavor Rave is done and once Juno has more time, since right now they are currently sick and also working on stuff for the channel and also working on Flavor Rave stuff. So like that's the number one mod we are thinking still want to like have some things to do with. And then other than that, it's mostly just starting on FNF stuff we've been looking at.
Yeah, nice. All right, 10 years later, I'm back at college again. Ouch. Oh, that's still on. Awesome. All right, it's almost actually been 2 hours on this interview. I feel like we've gone through a lot of questions. Yeah, time flies. Yeah, it's almost 2 hours. Damn. I got another one that's even earlier than the normal tomorrow. I got a 2 hour time limit for that one as well. Well, not as well, but you know what I mean.
I mean, if we got to wrap up, that's fine.
Nah, that's completely fine.
I mean, when I keep going, I'm always down to keep going.
I'm down. It's just the fact. When does it eventually just turn into like, they're just talking just to talk? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess at that point. Well, at that point, we usually just invite people to chat with us. So, how about that? If anyone wants to chat with us, send a request on the Twitter side of things. Everyone in chat is just saying, "Damn, damn." Hey. That's what I love about streaming is the freaking comment chains. They don't happen that often. Hello, hi from the Flavor Rave Discord server. All right, so Duster, I'll leave it to you to select who comes up to speak. Just hit the requested button and see who you'd like to talk.
Get in here, Sky. I know you.
Hey, Sky. We just interviewed them recently.
Hello.
Hi,
Duster. Hello. Damn.
Is that the main thing we just want to say? Just yell damn
Yeah.
on behalf of our good buddy Faceless.
Yeah.
I love to about social anxiety. I get that a lot, actually. In fact, I actually had some anxiety asking people to do these interviews at first, and then I said, you know what? Let's have it flip the script. All right. Take care, Monkey Boy. He said bye. I had fun tuning in. Take care, man.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Well, since
But
we
yeah,
have
don't be afraid to chat with us, guys. It's just a fun time. We're not gonna say you fucking suck or anything like that. No.
see if Faceless was here,
Yeah.
he would bully the hell out of you, Sky. But Faceless is
Yeah,
not
he
here.
would. He would bully me. He was bullying me during my interview.
I'm so sorry, but also not. That's because it's so funny.
I get some sleep, Ulysses. Take care, man.
See,
Time
well, since we
zones.
have-
I freaking hate them.
But since we did a dam in honor of Faceless, you know what we also got to do? We got in honor of our good buddy Miller. We got to give an
Oh
man.
man.
Oh man.
Wait, can I get some mans in the chat from Miller?
Can we get some
Aw,
mans in the
man.
chat? That's a request.
Hell yeah, dude.
Aw man's on Twitter as well. Go for it. Go for it. Let's have some fun with those.
I'm not seeing any other like join requests for the Twitter thing.
Yeah.
Aw man.
Man.
There we go. Okay. Amen. Now, aw man. This is how. Yeah. This is a fun stream. This is a very fun stream. That's why I love doing this stuff. Honestly, I really do. We never forget the quote retweet.
This stuff is it like it's been
How
a while
about
since
the-
I've
again,
had
yeah.
like I've been sponsored that had been part of like the interview format, but I always like having fun with these.
It's always fun. Okay, I'm considering joining, but I'm kind of scared. Can't lie. It's all good. We're just here to have fun, man. Trust me, if we weren't, you'd already know.
Like I'm not particularly the most like sociable. I'm pretty kind of awkward, but like
I get that.
as I become like a director, as someone who has to present things to people, like I've gotten a lot better. It's like
Yes, yeah.
Talk
I was
to
actually
people,
the
which is
same
good.
exact way. I honestly, before streaming, like I couldn't talk for more than a fucking 30-minute session at one point. And now here I am doing it for 8 hours sometimes. Very rarely.
yeah.
I talk about the randomest
like-
shit imaginable.
And like
But
that's
for
the thing,
sure.
if people enjoy it, when you have a platform you
Yeah,
can just like talk
exactly.
about random like what the hell ever, and people enjoy it. That's like even if it's like a small, even if it's just like say like a small like what seems like a small group of like 10 people,
Yeah.
and a room full of 10 people who just want to listen
Yeah.
to you exclusively talk is like it feels
It's
like
an honor.
like an honor to have.
Yes. A lot of people don't realize that.
True,
Like a
true.
group of 10 people is still. Yeah, imagine you got the big streamers like 7,000 on Twitch or something. Now imagine that, but having 10 people in a room. That's a lot of people to have in a room. Like
Yeah,
that's like a
10
like a very small
10
classroom.
consistent people, that's good as hell.
Yeah, that's like a filled up house at least at a party. Like
Just
23, that's a small
1,100
classroom.
people, that's too much.
That's a whole classroom watching you talk about the randomest shit imaginable. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like that's at least
Yeah,
10
think of it
people.
that way.
Like, yeah, fossil fighters. I remember that.
Yeah! Like how we just revert to fossil fighters. I need to stream that again. I don't know.
Finally, a stream that resonates with me.
With me,
and
my
my
niche.
specific love of fossil fighters.
I will literally stream fossil fighters at some point. Mark my damn words. I got a drawing tablet I can use at the bottom screen. Don't at me. So now should I play the OG or the 3DS ones? Try me. Me, I do a lot more than just FNF stuff. I will literally try. Even though I know Fossil Fighters gets kind of repetitious at times, like grinding. And the gameplay is literally just rock paper scissors at the end of the day, true. But the animations get kind of old. I don't know. We'll see.
But it's a game that meant a lot of us younger. So
It meant
fossil
a
fighters
lot.
forever.
It meant a lot back in my day. It meant a lot to me. Damn it.
So you will enjoy it, and those 10 people will enjoy it.
Yeah. What's Fossil Fighters? Google it, my friend. Google Peak. It's base DS era. We're not talking 2DS. We're not talking DSi. We're not talking 3DS. We're talking DS, motherfucker. Early 2000s. Google that shit. Like I seen the post about. There is a 3DS game, yes, but I'm talking like base DS game, like from the mid 2000s.
Yeah, that's the one we grew up with, the DS one, because I haven't played the 3DS one.
Dude,
either.
I seen TikTok posts like, you forgot the 3. Shut the f up. I hate
See,
that.
if you were a real OG, you would know.
You would know there's a normal DS.
Like,
there is a
3DS
3DS
my
game,
favorite
yeah.
console of all time, but the DS still existed. It had a lot of great games on it.
Yeah, it started the trend, damn it. So I just thought, like, if I recall, Duster took ownership of that FNF Restraint mod 3-ish years ago. What happened to that?
It's mostly a case of like low interest at the moment.
Yeah.
Like I had a whole like team meeting regarding like everything we were doing to like discuss like what the plan is going forward. And as of right now, with Restraint, the interest to make it happen is a little low right now, and we're kind of stretched thin. So I don't really know if we're going to be able to get back to that one, unfortunately. Yeah. It's not completely off the table, it's just kind of unlikely because
it's on the shelf,
to do a lot of
basically.
Yeah.
It's like, essentially on the shelf, whether it gathers dust and just sits there or just nothing comes of it. That's where it is.
There's the slightest chance something can happen with it, but like
you never know.
And also, that's the very likely chance we will work with the original creator of Restraint, Max Oki, on more things. Because they're just like a good buddy of mine. So
I only know Fossil
like,
from
I
JD
can't say for
Animations.
certain.
Fair.
I can't say for certain on Restraint, but like, yeah.
Hey, Bad Time, how's it going?
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
We know you're a bit nervous, but don't worry, we're just chill. We're just chatting about FNF stuff. Don't worry about it.
As long as you don't say shit about Fossil Fighters, you're good.
I swear to God.
Fossil Fighters.
I can get it.
Yeah, I'm japesing.
Can we get some Fossil Fighters win for? Can we just at Nintendo like, where's more Fossil Fighters, you f***wits? We have a niche, damn it. We need to fulfill it. Fossil Fighters mod win.
We have your new mouse system on Nintendo Switch 2. Let me use it.
Let us
click
use
on
it.
The fossils.
Yes, let me have the T-Rex in not high def. You know, quote unquote 4K. Mario, make Fossil Fighters look like freaking Mario Kart World, damn it. That would be sick, actually.
One day.
I will be streaming that day one, by the way. I got a pre-order.
I didn't have the money to like afford it myself, but thankfully I have a roommate who is really good with money who came in clutch, so I will have to experience it vicariously.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, actually, I was going to use GameStop on the website, but it went down 2 minutes before it was supposed to go live. But then I thought I had a brain thunk. I did not mean to say it that way, but it did. But anyway, I thought I thunk. Why not just go to the store itself? Because you're not technically ordering it from the store, you're ordering it from the website. And they literally, if you went within the next 12 hours after they opened, you would have gotten a pre-order.
I don't even know if there's any GameStops near me, so I know my roommate just pre-ordered it on the website.
So next time that happens, new console generation, go to the store themselves. Simple as that. If GameStop's still around anyway. That's how I got a PS5 day one as well. So yeah, GameStop and Best Buy will have units in store on launch day. Yeah, and GameStop has a midnight release for the Switch too, so I might actually stream as soon as I get home. Who knows? Late night, who's gonna be up at 3 a.m. playing Mario Kart? This guy.
I will be there as well, vicariously through my roommate's Switch too.
I'm so excited. I used to do a competition for Mario Kart 8, the base one.
I can't wait for Mario Kart.
Yes.
Yeah. Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. Can we get some Mario Karts in chat just for fun?
Mario Kart was the only game I played.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really good.
Based, yeah. We need Captain Rainbow back.
I don't know if we're gonna get that one, but like,
I don't know what you mean.
Captain Rainbow can like
Tomodachi Life, yes. I was thinking about streaming Tomodachi Life, like the DS version, while waiting for the Switch one.
Oh, like the original DS version,
yes.
Or like the 3DS.
The 3DS version, because I know a way I could do that.
Because the original DS version is like Japan only, from what I remember.
I will find a way to read Japanese. Damn it! I already read.
I mean, but the 3DS one's in English, so that one's fine. And that's the one
true.
most people are familiar with.
Yeah, I will find a way to freaking stream it. Face Raiders 2. Now that is something that's obscure as hell. Like who here knows what Face Raiders is?
Dude, Face Raiders. I was just talking about this with a friend the other day, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Who in chat knows about Face Raiders? Nintendo podcast. Yeah, I know. This kind of happens in a lot of podcasts on here, actually. Anyone that's been watching the Funkin podcast, Funkin Interview podcast, they know it devolves into random shit.
I could talk about the 3DS all day because that's some of my favorite.
Cameraman, it's
like,
possible.
So
An extra
many
camera
games I
is
love.
$60. No thanks. I'm not getting that.
So
I'm
many
not
things I love
paying
for
$60
3DS.
for a camera for a discount Discord, Nintendo. I'm sorry. They invented
Put the
Discord
AR
on
camera
the Switch.
3DS.
Yeah, I pre-ordered the bundle, yeah. Regarding a certain composer getting kicked off Teen TBD, are the songs they made for Flavor Rave going to get remade by other composers? Good question.
That is a question I will answer when we
When
have
time
our
comes.
stream talking about Fully Brewed. Because when we are ready for release for Fully Brewed, I'm going to be doing like our usual TBD live stream, where before which will be the same day when we release the final update. So I will be talking more about Fully Brewed and like answering questions like that during that stream.
Yeah,
so I will not
this
answer the question
stream,
now.
Yeah, I actually had some people asking like, "Hey, are you gonna ask questions like when is it gonna release?" Like, nah, that's up to Duster.
Oh, yeah. Ideally this
about
month.
Duster. Yeah, this is more of personal interview in a sense. Not a
sometime this
Flavor
month
Rave
it'll come
interview.
out. I can't promise a specific day, but yeah, someday.
Finn Sweet Suzune said, "My little nephew recently got into playing 3DS. I'm very proud uncle. Like, my little nephew myself is starting to play the Switch games. Play Minecraft. He's playing it, dude. Can't wait. Okay then. Mario Kart 7 and Link Between Worlds. Good shit.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 7, nice.
Like so many 3DS games are like very full
Link Between Worlds is pretty good too.
Yeah, Link Between Worlds is good. Like, I'm a big Fire Emblem guy, so all the 3DS Fire Emblem.
Yes, I need to.
Kid Icarus Uprising also is another one.
We need another Pit game, damn it! Listen, Nintendo.
Yeah.
They've been starving them. You give enough love to Kirby, damn it! Give some to Pit. For fuck's sake.
One day.
we need. How about this Kid Icarus Funkin or something? I don't know.
Man.
I don't know.
I don't think I could do something like that justice. Like, man, because I would need like a really awesome sweeping orchestral soundtrack. To
Yes.
That game.
Push
I
mode,
mean,
yes.
although we could totally do a Dark Pit song because Dark Pit is just like the Latin rock we already do for like Savory.
Yes. Push mode. That's the one I haven't made. I actually do own it. I haven't finished it though. The claw kills me every time. And that's coming from somebody that played the old Monster Hunters. Like you literally had to use the claw in those games. Private Force Heroes, yes.
The claw and old Monster Hunter.
Dude, I'm a Monster Hunter fanatic offline.
That's what Gabe kept me from the franchise when I was younger trying to play it. It's like I couldn't do it.
But yeah, I'm a huge Monster Hunter fan. Where is their Monster Hunter mods? Damn it! I've done searching every month. I don't find it. I have ideas though. You literally have a weapon in the game that literally makes music. Just use the hunting horn, damn it, as the microphone. I don't give a shit. I played Triforce Heroes. I never owned it, but I did play a demo, I believe. I don't know.
I never had enough friends around to play Triforce Heroes. Four Swords Adventures though on the DS though, that is what I played a lot of.
Yeah, that one you can actually play solo. I didn't really have friends that had 3DSs.
Like, since that was like a free download on the DS, I had my friend group got it, so we all played that game together.
Nice. Alrighty.
I actually had the Nintendo Wii growing up.
Nice.
I also had a Wii.
A lot of people did, yeah.
Mario
had
Galaxy and
Skylanders.
Xenoblade Chronicles, my goat.
Yes!
Mario
Xenoblade
Kart
Chronicles
Wii,
3 was
my
good.
Dude,
I
I'm a big
get credit.
Xenoblade head. Like
Dude.
Playing Xenoblade 1 on the original Wii for the first time was like generational for me.
I never played it
I
on the
didn't
Wii.
play
I
it.
played it
I
on
played-
the 3DS, and then I got the remaster on Switch.
I have to get
And-
the remaster. But like, man,
Metroid Prime Federation
love that
Force.
franchise.
Metroid
I
Prime
played
Federation
Skylanders
Force.
a lot.
I like how this turned from FNF to just a Nintendo podcast. Legitimately, we're
I'm
just talking about
a
Nintendo.
Nintendo
shit.
nerd. It
Same.
happens.
Mostly the only thing I use is just GBA games.
Fair enough.
I grew up with the GBA emulator on my iPod, and that's how. And a lot of the games on that were like influenced me a lot. Like, if you are wondering where my username of Duster comes from, a little game called Mother 3
Yes.
That
I've got a lot
game,
of games I need to play.
Mother 3 is like a game that
I need to
is
stream.
still
I need
I
to
do
stream
resonates
it.
a
remember you
lot with
telling me
me.
about that.
So I stole the character's name for myself.
Yoink.
I kind of figured
What a
that
move.
actually. Yeah.
I was
Also,
like,
guys,
no,
mouse mode
Duster's
is
my
gonna
favorite
be a
character, and
huge
also
game
I like words that
changer.
rhyme.
Yeah. Guys, go.
So
Bye,
many
guys. Take
games
a play
I
some
could
Brawl
play.
Stars. Have fun, Aisha.
Where Brawl Stars were?
It's a
I guess
YouTube
people
chat.
in the chat were playing Brawl Stars.
How
about this?
What happened?
Yeah, man. But yeah, it's almost like 10 p.m. my time, so.
I don't want to keep you up if you're like, you gotta
Nah,
go
it's
to bed. or got
fine.
things
I am
to do,
trying.
too.
I am trying to work on my sleep patterns because it's been
It is
leading to a
nearly
lot more
3 a.m.
burnout.
here.
Yep.
Oh, you
I-
need to go to bed.
I'm
Yeah.
in PST's time zone, so it's only like 6:45 right here.
Yeah, it worked out for your guys' interview. The next interview,
Yeah.
one of the people that wanted to chat during the interview would have asked me if I could do it at 4 p.m. instead of 7:30, which I forgot to freaking adjust that on the main post announcing the 2 interviews. And I just put in the comments like, yeah, actually the Tabby interview is at 4 instead. But yeah, that should be a pretty fun interview. I was excited for these 2 interviews. Like the Tabby one was supposed to be last weekend, but they wanted a certain somebody to join in. So that's completely fine. So give me some time to rest. So this weekend is actually I was very excited for this interview and the next one. Wait, you were there? What do you mean? There's chances. Metroid Prime 4 mouse controls. As somebody that has like a sort of mouse control, if you heard of the Legion Go, it's like the Steam Deck. It has mouse sensitivity on it. The bottom of those Switch controllers is gonna get scuffed up like no other thing. You're gonna need a mouse pad. That or something to protect it. I don't know.
Mouse pad for the Switch is crazy, but also
you're gonna need a
yeah.
mouse pad. Yeah, as somebody the Legion Go has like a setting for mice. You can actually hold it like an actual mouse. Like, get the select, get your buttons right here, left click, right click. You got to have something to protect that, and I don't even use it on this thing. Let's see, I got one at the house. It was supposed to say for me, but yeah, mouse mode for 2 is legit. Yeah, just be careful how often you use it. You might scuff up your controllers, and I don't want to pay fucking $80 for one Joy-Con. But that does not have does not have Hall effects. Nintendo needs the
big
fucking-
inflation is real. Like,
Yeah, they don't even have Hall effect joysticks. Like what the f? Every console has that now. Like what the heck, Nintendo? You're just making it defective by default, man. That's greedy as shit. That's a conversation for another day. Trust me, we'll get there.
Also, I'm sorry for being so quiet. I've
It's all
never
good.
done something like this before.
You're fine.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good,
This
man.
This
He's
is my
stressed
first
to
time
make sure you
being in
don't
an
scuff it.
interview like this.
It's completely fine, man. I get that. Like at first, the fun fact, I wasn't originally going to call it Funkin Interview. It was going to be Funkin Q&A because Q&A sounds less intimidating. But in the end, it really is just a Q&A at the end of the day. And like a job, if you compare this to like a job interview, it's completely different with some aspects that I took inspiration from.
Yeah, at this point of the I guess the interview, it's where we kind of like the interview's sort of done. Now
We're
we're
just
just kind
hanging
of
out.
talking about whatever.
Yeah, we're just hanging out at this point. This is the hangout section, like part 3 of the interview, I guess. But yeah, probably won't have that tomorrow though. Yeah, because the interview is gonna be time limited because I have other stuff I gotta do with that. Yeah, I do a lot more than FNF. I mentioned like earlier today we were playing like Among Us, then Smash Bros, then the small FNF mod, and then this. Like this is the 4th stream I've done tonight. I've been in this chair for almost 5 fucking hours.
Damn.
And I love every fucking minute of it.
That's good.
Yeah. It is exhausting as hell though.
Smash Bros.
I've done 200 live streams of it, like 200 hours. Like tonight was a 200 stream of Smash Bros on my channel.
Sweet.
My
Yeah.
favorite game.
Well,
And
it's good.
it's casual stuff though.
I have
yeah.
deep appreciation for all Smash games. As a person who was like a longtime Smash spotter, I've been like touching Smash bots since Brawl. So Brawl, Smash 4 on specifically the Wii U version and Switch. I have like had my hand in modding those games, and I have a lot of like personal
Hey,
connection
we got
with it.
the real boyfriend in stream chat. Hello.
Well,
Apparently.
Real boyfriend.
oh,
Oh my!
It's the real
BFF.
boyfriend.
It's the real BFF.
It's
Hold on,
him.
hold on. I'll speak their language. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh God.
Bob. Live BF reaction.
Like
feel
the
for you.
reaction for real.
Kind of
I
scary.
love the voice
True.
mod.
Oh no.
I love voice mod, voice lab. The camera was pretty fun. The only thing that's using it in Mario Party, it's very gimmicky.
That's beautiful.
Dude, I need to play Mario Party again. It's been ages. Like I streamed the new one, Jamboree, once. I never did again because nobody wanted me to. Because no one got it.
My luck in games is terrible, so I get trounced whenever I play Mario Party.
I swear, my luck is
my
very-
luck in Mario Party is horrible. I'm not good at Mario Party.
I swear, my luck when it comes to anything I try to do is absolute dog shit. But for some reason, you know gacha games, right?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
boy.
I get S ranks very...
I've liberated
I get,
myself from all of them, but like I know them. I've
No,
been there.
ZZZ for you.
What game?
Yeah, for me, ZZZ recently.
It's
But
endless.
I get super freaking lucky when it comes to gachas. I don't fucking get how. Like, why can't that luck be used for the YouTube content? Like, what the hell?
I mean,
It's gonna
as
be
much as I
Jamboree
played
Live.
gacha games back then, I had terrible luck. But when I play Mario games, I got like 5 win streaks.
Well, Mario Party has more skill-based games than luck-based games. At the end of the day. Mario Superstars played a friend like a year ago. I've played it twice since then. I did stream Superstars quite a number of times, actually. And Jackbox. Like, I play a lot of multiplayer games. Anytime I do single player, like, nope, no one wants to watch it. I played freaking the new Dome for like 7 hours. Yeah, it didn't do well.
Yeah.
If it's not FNF, it doesn't do well in my opinion. I don't know. I don't freaking know, man. I still enjoy it though.
The curse of the niche.
The curse of being in
Get
niches.
cursed.
Yeah, man. I'm
First
I-
of niche.
dude. I used to be pretty big fan of Phasmophobia, to the point where I streamed it like every freaking stream night, every day, day in, day out, and I fucking hated it after 300 hours.
Damn.
Like, I legitimately hated the game, but it was the only thing that got my name out there. FNF's completely different though. I actually enjoy playing the mods and chatting with people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had this feeling before, but it's a little bit different. I'm tolerant of it, you know. But, you know, it also jumps into other games that I play too. What about the gun? What do you mean? Starting to eat. Ah, yeah, man. What about WarioWare? Have we brought up that on the Nintendo podcast?
I'm big on WarioWare, especially
I-
because that's another like artist like I forgot to mention in like the initial when I was talking about artists that inspire me. Ko Taguchi, the main artist for like WarioWare and Rhythm Heaven.
Yes.
Like that guy, like his art is like big for me, and also WarioWare and Rhythm Heaven are games where also I play a lot. I just recently replayed Fever with Sky and like a few other friends and a voice call recently.
That reminds me, did you play... there was one game that was very WarioWare based. I forget the freaking name of it. I think I backed
Was
it.
it Mindwave?
Yes, Mindwave.
Yeah, I did. I have been playing a good amount of that demo because even just that demo has
I
been
backed
really
it because
fun.
I really enjoyed it. I wish I played the new WarioWare there. Lol. Sorry for Rhythm. Same for Rhythm Heaven. I actually never played Rhythm Heaven. Closest I've
Rhythm
gotten
Heaven
to
is-
it, yeah. The closest I've gotten to it
it's
was
good.
the Melatonin
It's
game.
good.
It's like it's a simple but like so like enjoyable series. I'm glad that we're getting a new game on.
Me too. I I'm so excited.
Yeah. Anyway, we might as well start trying to wrap up stuff soon. Eventually, I think I mentioned it by the 5th podcast. I wanted to get like a bunch of the interviewees back together for like a sort of community checkup, like thoughts about how the community has changed since their interview. It's probably around midsummer. This is an idea that I've been floating around. I don't know. Like, it's
I
sort
mean,
of
if
like,
you do, I will gladly come back.
we'll
if
do
you'll
it.
have me.
Yeah, sure.
I will too.
We can only have like 10 people chatting at a time, but not everyone's going to be able to join in, I can guarantee.
Yeah.
But it's just an idea I had, like getting like a bunch of the creators I've already interviewed, chatting about the community like over the past 6 months or so. Like how do you guys think things have changed since last year in a sense? Like how have things evolved? That sort of thing. I don't know. So like I had that idea pretty early on into the interview account. I'm still working on some stuff for that. But aside from that, if there's any more questions, we got a few more minutes and then we'll probably wrap it up. I gotta go take care, Marcus. It's been a pretty long freaking stream. It's been a fun time though. Nah, it's what I'm speaking English at this point. Play Sung FNF mod cutscene Pico. Dude, I've streamed well over 350 mods on the channel. So if I get a lot of suggestions, but a lot of time recently I was like, I kind of already played that like 6 months ago. And I got to the point where I'm at like a little bit of a mod drought. I can't find many mods that I'd be interested in.
I can't even count how many mods are nowadays since like 5 years.
Yeah,
Or I think it
know.
was 4, but still. It was thousands now.
How's it going, Zenko? Zenko?
It's been a long time of modding. Also, hello.
Okay, random question before it's over. What's your favorite color, Duster?
It fluctuates. Like, I think right now I'd probably still say red.
Mine's blue.
It used to be blue, then it used to be red, then I compromised with purple, and now I'm back to red because I'm feeling quite red this year.
Feeling quite
Bro,
rage
is red.
fueled.
Question.
Bro,
Yeah, go for it. Go for it, bad time.
Where did the idea of Flavor Rave come from? Like, where did the original concept and idea for that
right.
kind of thing come from?
Well, I
I
answered
think-
that earlier in the interview.
Oh, right. I wasn't
It's all
there.
good.
I
It's all
haven't-
good.
Yeah, you can just like when the archive of it comes up, you can just check that because I did insert that question.
It's all
I'm
good.
just trying to find a thing. I'm just trying to find a thing to say. At this point, I've been very quiet most of the time I've been here.
It's all
You're
good.
fine.
It's all good.
Alright,
In fact, it's hard for me to come up with a lot of the questions for the interviewees because a lot of the time they are reused, but they're actually, I've been told, really good questions. Coming up with new ones, that's the hard point.
But like,
But-
there's things like that, like where it came from. It was a lot of stuff like that, like how we got here. The sort of the questions we answered prior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long interview, so yeah, not everyone's gonna be here from the beginning. You know how it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
This is nice though. I
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, the vibe of the space I try to shoot for whenever we do these interviews is the chill vibe, just have fun chatting about the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
This was a very fun stream so far. Fucking
I agree.
pretty, well, it's getting pretty late, but yeah, it's a very fun stream so far.
You guys need to sleep.
Thank you for everyone
Man,
tuning in.
brother.
But yeah, please go to bed.
Go to
Hey,
bed.
Zanko, bad time you need to sleep.
Go to sleep,
Okay.
Zenko.
They really want to see what Duster has to say.
Hold on.
Well, you can always
no.
check back if it's something that you missed. And also, but we're at the end of things, so like I've said
Yeah.
basically everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just
so,
glad
like,
I got to
so
be here. You know?
I'm just gonna
So,
take these like a few seconds just to say something. Very unlikely. I'm just gonna say this is a little joke, but like Zenko Duster collab when /J of course, but like still that'd be funny.
No.
how do you have the confidence to say that?
Big shrug. Oh,
Oh man, we're stirred up one. We're not gonna say like
I'll
you
take
should have
that.
asked that. We're not gonna be like that. Those kind of people that you should have asked that f***ing question, dude. How dare you? We're not gonna do
Sure.
that crap. We're just gonna have
I
fun,
just said that
man.
was a joke, really. I said that was a joke, really, but like, yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be
we're not
funny.
gonna be like that now.
True.
All these interviews is always anyone can join up after the main questions.
Yeah.
But
Mind
I
you, there's
do
a
want to
limit.
say this to Zanko that I really thank you for the whole Flavor Rave community to be together. Which is you're the mega chat.
The mega chat.
Yeah, you.
Is that bigger than Giga Chat or not? That's
Yeah,
the biggest
sounds
question.
pretty cool.
Depends on your preference.
Honestly, yeah. Other than that, well, I do thank you for bringing just an excellent story to tell. Like, really resonated with me on multiple aspects. So I thank you a lot.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, Flavor Rave I saw online once and then decided to play it, and never before have I been so interested in an FNF mod like it. It's just that good.
Same.
I'm glad people enjoy it the way they do, because that means I can keep making more things, and then from there,
Yeah.
I hope people join us for when we start doing the non-FNF stuff, which will be soon. We need some time.
It's all good.
Yeah, taking time.
Yeah,
is
take your
totally
time.
Understandable.
I want to. It's all about striking the balance, making sure like we're still getting stuff done in due time, but also making sure like our team is like working at a good pace and everyone is feeling good.
Yeah, that's entirely understandable.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah, but overall, it's overall thank you all. See ya.
Alright, take care and get some
Thank
sleep.
you. Y'all go to bed if it's in the
Go to
AMs right now,
bed.
and go to
It's
sleep.
3 AM here.
Go sleep.
Finn
Oh, man.
Sasune said, "Thank you, Duster. You inspired this older mod dev too." But yeah, that should about do it for today. Any final
Oh wait,
thoughts
I
about
have
the
a
interview?
question actually.
Oh, go for it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Are in the future are you going to accept more favor zonas just like what you did before for V2.5?
Kind of unlikely, mostly because we've created so many things internally. So it's harder to have that open like we could before. So most likely no.
All right.
But I think we're just about wrapped up things here.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that's all right.
But
This was
you have
good
any final
interview.
thoughts on the
It's
interview?
fine. Yeah, what? This was Poggers.
Well, and in the words of my homeboy HBK, stay kind, stay creative, stay powerful. Play
that's his
Fossil
line.
Fighters if that's the one thing you take
Play
away.
Fossil Fighters. Yes, that's
Fighters.
the takeaway, chat. Play it
I
now.
think
and play Rave. Play Rave
Fossil
will
Fighters
come out
right now.
sometime this month. I hope we can continue to make things that inspire
How
people.
about this? I'll put a post on my main channel, YouTube community post soon. If I should stream Fossil Fighters, and which one should I play? Just for a joke. If it gets enough traction, I'll attempt it. I don't know. We're probably not gonna be able to finish it though. I can't finish half this shit that's single player on my channel.
I think
Ah,
the moral of the
you know.
story here is dinosaur.
The nostalgia,
Sure.
nostalgia is deadly, chat. But anyway, that's why everyone likes the old OC mods so favorably nowadays too. I will say this, chat. Try an OC mod that you have not thought about trying. You never know what you might like. There might be a hidden gem out there for you. Who knows?
Yeah, I have
kind of
considered
epic.
trying Friday Night Troubles.
Try that mod.
I try to get to OC mods, but with all the big mods and me being, the streamer, usually takes priority sometimes. As much as I hate that is the thing that you have to do.
Yeah,
I do get
considered
around to
a
it.
flavor of not having much expectations, but I did end up finding a hidden gem, hell, an opal even. So that's excellent.
Also, can my
Alright.
voice be heard clearly? I can't tell.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you were fine. But
Alright.
yeah,
So
I
that
need
should
to
be
make food. I am hungry.
same. I've been sitting in this chair for
Buster,
5
go
hours.
eat, go consume.
All right,
I
so
will, don't
let's go ahead and
worry.
wrap this up because the main theme's playing in the background on my Spotify playlist.
Yay!
All right, so
Perfect closure.
start off with the main
Yay.
theme by JDST. I need to ask for that season 2. After the 30th interview, I'll mention it here too. I'll be taking at least a week off. There's no set time because it's literally been almost 15 weeks in a row of doing at least 1 or 2 interviews, and even I need a break because scheduling these things is me having that schedule mindset because of my damn autism and ADHD brain go brr. Wondering and worrying if shit's gonna fall apart. Yeah, it gets a lot. But at the end of the day, I always have a fun time doing this, so I keep going. But I have 3 more words to say to Duster and to any mod devs. Keep on cooking. And if there's any mod devs out there that want to do these interviews themselves as well, check my main post with the Google Doc link for the form, and I'll reach out if your number's picked. More info on that. But until next time, have a good night, evening, morning, afternoon, what time it is for you guys. Hope you take care. Hope to see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Damn!
Damn! Damn! Play Fossil Fighters! Dude, I love this community. Alright, so I might as well mention it here. Tomorrow night, tomorrow evening, I guess, is going to be the versus Tavi interview. 4 p.m. EST, not 7:30 p.m. So it'll be a bit earlier, but we will have a hard time limit. It'll be only 2 hours. So we're gonna have a bunch of the crew from this dev crew on that stream. It's all ready to go. I already actually had the stream made. But if you have any thoughts about the interview stuff and the podcast, let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, I don't reach out to the devs. They reach out to me on this. It makes it a lot easier. But if you do want a dev to do the interview stuff and you have questions burning for a dev, go ahead and ask them. Or if you want me to do it for you, I guess this form's for you too. I don't know. Even then, I can show you, like, we have like 150 freaking requests. I gotta refresh this page. Here, I'll show you let's get the live count, shall we? A live interview request count. Here we have currently, let me make sure I don't spoil who's submitted a request. 151 requests. I don't want to give away my freaking email address either. Hold on. 151 requests. So can't get to all of them, and it's all currently randomized. So there's that. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe. I got way more in the future planned, but until next time, chat. Later. I always hate ending these streams. It's always a fun time chatting with everybody. But yeah, thank you to my YouTube members that support the channel via the join button on YouTube, Lord Dune 198, Rider557, and Xandover. And thank you to FreeDrew27 on Twitch for supporting the Twitch side of things, even though I'm still not back on that. Not sure if I'm going back to Twitch, FreeDrew. Sorry to say. But yeah, if you enjoyed, have any questions or comments about the interview concept, let me know down below. Until next time, have a good night, evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is for you. I hope you take care. I hope I see you soon. Later. Check out the other stuff I stream, please.